Sounds like a French circus.
Okay, so welcome to session number 93, or as it is, Phase 3, Season 1, Episode 4 of our Wrath of the Immortals campaign for the Friday night group. So there are some connections between the different groups, which makes it an interesting story. And at the moment we have... might have to wait for the people at the table first and then do the online ones to give them a chance to get back to the microphone.
No one's here?
Well, I think they are, but I thought I would get Ariadne to introduce her character first.
I'm here. Oops.
Sorry, I thought I'd have more time.
In that case, I'll get M to introduce her character first.
Alright, I will introduce myself. I play Zal, your ever-lovable cleric wizard. Doing a bit better now that we're not at the front lines anymore. Have a little bit of hope. We've got a new mission to sort out while we wait out the lull in the war during its winterisms.
It is in winter where most of the war kicks off again. So you're currently heading into summer.
I was going to say, I thought we were getting into summer.
Yeah, no, as in like we're waiting for the war to kick back in winter.
Might even start.
And yes, I think we've taken on a few jobs to reinvestigate our cult friends, or people we know, as well as a few other things which I can't remember off the top of my head because I think I left early that session because I wasn't feeling great.
So you can blame the rest for what you got yourselves into.
I think mostly you're just up for introducing yourself right now.
Okay, so that brings us to Ross.
Yes, I am playing Yodri, the swashbuckling halfling. And yeah, we were going to investigate the cults, but we've been sidetracked to some vampire thingy, I believe.
Yep, you want to get yourself into where you don't want to be, so you're working well on that.
We're investigating the cults via the portal at the Vampire Keep.
Yeah, long way around.
Which is always interesting.
But that's how we do the side quests.
And then that brings us to Sue, who may not be at the...
I'm ready now if you... I just wanted to get my memory.
Okay. In that case, we'll go back to Ariadne.
I play Zala, a druid tree speaker. Currently, recovering from the war just like Zal is, feeling a little bit shaken by the massive power of the Master, so hoping to learn a few more spells and things while we're doing this investigation of undead and the cults that seem to be linked to them. Since the Master seems to be using the undead to fight with. So I think this side quest might be educational.
So you might be able to raise your own army.
Isn't that Zol's job? Oh no, wait, she kills her own family. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, technically yes and no, in a way. I could, but I've chosen not to so far.
There's a lot of worse things that can happen. Checking in on Sue to see if she's made it back to her microphone.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, so Sue, introduce yourself, please.
Okay, I'm playing Mystara. She's a ranger. And she's trying to find her way at the moment. She's a human ranger because she's gone through, I guess, a bit of a sort of a cleansing, I guess you'd say, in her own life, in her own circumstances, that has completely destroyed everything she believed in.
A big crisis of faith.
Yeah. So she wants to become the best fighter she can, so that she can emulate and make her hero proud of her. But she won't speak her name because otherwise she'll get in trouble.
So you still idolise Camdu, even though Camdu...
I don't know who you're talking about.
Okay, alright.
And hopefully soon we'll also have a Josh joining us, but he'll get to us when he can.
Yeah, so you idolise she who will not be named.
Maybe.
We might need to check you for tattoos.
Well, you know, she might actually have one.
Well, I was trying to make a witty Harry Potter reference without actually being overt, but obviously didn't quite succeed.
Well, don't most fans of their idol end up with tattoos in a culture that does that as a way of honouring their heroes?
Perhaps.
At least it's better than getting someone else's translation written on
Are
there.
you saying that Ethengarians are into tattooing?
They are.
Oh, okay. I did not realise this.
She could already have a tattoo, but you might not know overtly that what it means. It could be one of Camdu's horses, but it's just a tattoo of a horse in your eyes. Who knows?
They're not
Exactly.
actual animals, so...
And some people's tattoos actually move. Because when you got magic, why not? So, last session recap. You had gotten some awards for fighting at the front. You managed to meet up with Redrian and discuss what had happened during the war. And then you were looking into the necromantic portal network that they think a connection is in Karamikos. They're not exactly sure about that. And they wanted you to look into the elemental cults. Basically, if they knew about the portal and where it was, they wouldn't really need to send someone to investigate. So you arrived in Kelvin and asked some upstanding citizens about the undead. Unfortunately, they weren't the adventuring type and had no clue what you were talking about. Then you travelled on to Raphilian and actually asked the elves who have the forest area near to where you were told that the undead were congregating. And he gave you a direction to look into and a new lordship that might have more information. So again, being shuffled on to the next person, you found yourself at the keep of Quasqueton and spoke to the central of the keep, Zeligar, who talked about how he used to work with the Halev, king of the Traldar, before the Null invasion, and he missed the whole thing due to a magical mishap. These things happen.
4,000 years ago.
Yep. Well, it wasn't quite 4,000 years ago. It was a little less for him.
Oh,
because the Null invasion happened after the Nithians had wiped out.
Okay, I do get them mixed up.
Oh, good. And he was a bit surprised to learn afterwards that the king he had been serving managed to get himself a godhood. So there's always interesting things happening around those sort of stuff.
But that was fortunate for him, because wasn't it the same king who saved him?
No.
Oh, okay.
The king who turned into a god hadn't interacted with him
it's
since
the
then.
Duke that saved him, not the king.
No, it was Jeremy's character that saved him.
Okay, yeah.
Which is why he's serving Jeremy's character for a short time.
Which is the Duke, right?
No, he's the Lord of the Keep.
I thought he had a dukedom.
The Karamikos is a dukedom.
Okay.
The whole country is a dukedom.
I'm going to stop confusing everyone.
And then you chose to travel to Koriszegy Keep to investigate the possibility of a portal there, and being told that it is most likely the lair of one of the first vampires. So, not too much to be afraid of.
That's where we started heading.
That's where you finished last session. Just reading more books that I will need.
I feel like I should add the title Thalish. You cannot remember.
Well, you remembered a lot of stuff.
I've got it all wrong about who saved who, when, and where.
Well, it didn't happen in this group, so you only heard about it in passing. So yes, you wanted to travel to the lair, and did you have anything you wanted to do in particular on the way there? Any preparations besides rubbing yourself with garlic?
I believe I also made sure I had my I have a couple of decanters of the endless water, because we found out that water can be their weakness, and I've got a fair few water spells. So I guess I've got those at the ready, as well as smelling like a spaghetti bolognese. And I guess I've probably got those spells at the ready too. A bit early yet to see whether or not I want to cast a 1000 gem spell yet, so we'll see how we go. That's my preps.
How about Yodri? Did Yodri do any preparations to meet what is reputed to be one of the original vampires?
Yeah, I've got a bag full of garlic cloves that I'm going to be munching on. And I would like to find if I can actually find a bottle of the rarest wine to see if I can actually purchase it.
Oh, Zol sculpted the whole garlic thing. Like, surely that isn't it.
Well, being
I'm just keeping my breath fresh.
I was going to say, being a cleric, you would be, and a former necromancer, you would know whether or not the garlic thing was a true thing. I have a suspicion though Ross's wine thing's got nothing to do with our investigation.
Well, unless he's planning to offer it to the really ancient vampire.
No, that's
Yeah, he might be a connoisseur of old things.
Mom, I'm just gonna be offline for like 10-15 minutes. Hopefully, if Mia gets to sleep quickly.
Well,
We'll
good
see.
luck with that. So what does Cam do? Imni, gotta remember the right name, do to prepare for meeting a vampire?
when we before we enter the keep, I would like to do a couple more things.
Yep. Well, I guess we'll move over to Ariadna then.
Yeah, I was trying to leave space for her to reply.
Hello, sorry, I thought I was replying, but I didn't realise I was on mute. Sorry.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I was saying, do we know what things can help fight a vampire? Like, you know, I know in some worlds this is me out of character, but like wooden stakes or silver or things like that.
Well, the locals wear garlic around their neck. They would use silver if they had the money. And wooden stakes are a fairly common thing to see in people's belts in the region.
Okay, so maybe Amy will probably prepare a whole lot of those.
And
It's-
there's not a single rumor of any of that being actually successful. But hey, I'm sure it matters.
Yeah.
It won't do any
Okay.
harm to have a couple on hand.
Yeah, well, that's it. So,
If it
you know,
doesn't
we
work,
just have.
doesn't work.
I mean, if they work, yeah.
But if they work, yeah,
Mhm.
worthwhile doing. I'm fortunate in that I can just like summon wood and vines and things, so I don't necessarily need to keep stakes on hand. I can use things like thorn whip.
Just don't make the mistake of one of my group of characters who actually purchased theirs from a meat place.
Bones.
No, they had no bones at all in it. It was a little bit of gristle in here and there.
Oh, okay, like beef steaks rather than.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's for vegetarian vampires.
But they had made a big point of going to the meat sellers to buy their steaks. So I went, well, okay.
Why choose the meat sellers to buy steaks?
Because
wooden steaks.
I'm sure the players thought they were being smart in some way.
Okay.
They were trying to outsmart the GM in that period where they believe that the GM is their enemy.
I don't know, that none of that makes sense. But,
Didn't to me either, but it's what they wanted to do, so I let them do it. If people want to do silly things, you've got to let them do their silly things. Okay, so yes, what other preparations did our Thala druid wish to do?
So I can speak with plants and animals.
Mm-hmm.
So if there aren't any, I'd like to commune with the environment and see what they can tell me when we're close to the tower, but before we're actually within sight of people from the tower. I'd like to see whether or not the environment can tell me anything about the goings on.
So you want to do a commune with nature?
Yeah, I'm just looking for the exact name of it. I was also thinking of doing. Are vampires considered evil or just neutral?
In this version of the game, vampires can be any alignment.
Because I was thinking about whether or not I did protection from good and evil and good on myself.
Well, does your protection from evil and good list undead as one of the things it protects you from?
Well, that's what I was just looking through now. It says aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead.
Then it doesn't matter whether the vampire is good or evil, it will protect
Okay.
you from it.
Okay.
So it protects you from a creature type, not an alignment. It just uses that because that was what the old name of the spell was called.
Okay. So I can do it as a ritual or a spell.
Mm-hmm.
If I pass it to you, would that make it easy enough for you to?
It would be easier
check
for
it?
me to check it. Oh, actually, I think I've got it on here.
Oh, you got it on there?
I remembered opening your character sheet earlier.
Yep.
So. Okay, so you can concentrate and keep it running for 10 minutes.
On this one, it says spending an hour preparing the ground for the ritual can provide a barrier that also stops the creature. Oh, okay, so that's if we're camping or something like that. Okay, so it's a bit early for that one. Concentration 10 minutes until the spell ends. Okay, and did you say it only lasts for 10 minutes?
And lasts while you concentrate.
Oh, it lasts while I concentrate. So that means as soon as I cast another spell, it stops.
Another concentration spell.
Okay. So it couldn't hurt to do it just for while we're going in?
Only if you think that you're facing the creature. Because it's basically a combat defense, not a general defense.
Okay, so it wouldn't be useful in this thing because I haven't used it before, so I just wanted to
So if you think someone's under the effects of a charm, you can then cast it on them to remove the effects of the charm.
Okay. Alright. Well, I guess it's another one to keep in handy, and in the meantime I'll just see what the environment can tell me about what's in the area and what's going on, if anything. Which I think is just a straight ritual.
It is.
Is it speak with plants?
Let's commune with nature.
Let's commune with nature. And just this is not in any sort of order, unfortunately.
There's also.
Do you have it up there, or?
So you got divination. Yeah, you should also have commune with nature being the higher level version of speak with plants.
Okay. Yeah. So it's not on this sheet, but
Not
it
on
is
that
something
sheet,
I can
yeah.
do.
Yes.
Alright, well I'll do that and see if the plants can tell me if there's undead in the area or other interesting things.
So what it can tell you is within 3 miles around you and up to 300 feet underneath you, and as long as you're not in a heavily constructed area such as a dungeon or town, you can learn up to 3 facts of your choice about the surrounding area: terrain and bodies of water, common flora, fauna, minerals and people, any unnatural creatures in the area, weaknesses in planar boundaries, and built structures.
So I guess I want to know if there's any unnatural creatures in the area. And I guess because we're getting... Is this a tower that we're heading towards? That's like just a tower on the ground. And I think you said there's something like a dungeon below?
You expect there to be a dungeon below.
Right.
But you're not sure.
Okay. So I want to find out if there is a dungeon below, since I can do a little bit of underground thing. And there was 3 things I could find out, wasn't there?
Yeah, the mistake I read was in reading it is you have outdoors it's 3 miles. If you're underground, then it's 300 feet.
Oh, okay. So I can't tell if there's anything underground.
No.
Well, I guess I want to know about unnatural creatures. And trying to think what else would be useful. Feel free to chime in if you have suggestions.
Well, there are 5 options, and there are 3 of them that you can choose. So
I can't remember the options.
The first option is the terrain and bodies of water.
Okay.
Identifying what that is, which you know already is hilly, foresty, and road.
I was going to say that's probably superfluous at this stage.
Common flora, fauna, minerals, and people. Considering it's in an isolated area, unlikely to have any common stuff here.
I mostly want to confirm if there's undead.
Any unnatural creatures in the area, which is one of the things you want to ask. Yeah. Weaknesses in planar boundaries.
That would tell us about the portal, wouldn't it?
It would most likely tell you about the portal.
Yeah. So
and built structures, which will tell you about any other sort of structures in the region.
Okay, alright, so those 3 if I could. I lost my pencil before, so...
Okay, so your character will need to make a nature check.
Do you have updated stats for my nature thing?
I do, I'm just trying to figure out what the DC is.
Yep. Can I use my luck at chaos to reroll? Oh,
wrong character.
No, wrong character. Do we have any rerolls?
You have a couple of rerolls.
Can I use one of my rerolls, please?
You can.
That's a lot better. So that's a 16.
Okay, you add... 10 plus a D4 to the roll.
A D4?
Yep.
A 4?
So you add 14 to what you rolled.
So it was 16.
So that makes
30.
it makes it 30. The target number you had to reach was, I believe, sorry, I had to switch between places to get your bonuses.
Yep.
Okay. So it was a DC 18, so you successfully got off your ritual.
Right, okay, that's good.
It is very good. And so, because you have an expertise dice with nature checks. And if you want to know about plants, plant life in the area, instead of a D4, you roll a D6.
Oh.
Because you've got specialty in plants.
Okay, that's pretty nifty.
Okay, so what you find out about things in the region is that, yes, it does have undead and aberrations in the area, which are both unnatural creatures.
I just get generic undead and generic aberrations. I can't ask if like they're vampires or zombies or...
It doesn't go into a lot of detail
No,
for you.
that's fine. That's what I was asking. I don't know that you should sit there. He's pretty determined, but I don't think I'm strong enough to get him off. So there is undead in the area and aberrations.
There are undead and aberrations in the area. It does have a... you do detect weaknesses in planet boundaries in the region, more than one.
So an indication of portals.
And there are a couple of built structures in the region as well. So more than one. Meaning,
oh, okay, so more than just our...
So other built structures may be anything from a tower to a shed, but they all count as built structures. May even be an entrance to a dungeon somewhere.
Doesn't give me any indication of where these structures might be.
Well, you know that they are within 3 miles of you.
Okay. Well, it's not technically teaching us something new, but it is confirming what we suspected.
Well, you didn't know for sure if there was any planar issues in the region. Now you know.
Mm.
Something you didn't know beforehand.
And you said there's several structures.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess that's all the prep work that I can think of that I can do. I don't know if anyone else has rituals or spells like that.
Does anyone else has anything they wish to do?
Can't really think of anything.
And just the prep I was doing with the stakes and other bits and pieces, I think.
In terms of maybe scouting out the area a little bit, can I like use my speak with animals to maybe get a little bit of a check around the tower as we get closer, like not straight away, but when we do? Is that something that I can...
You can, you just have to convince the animal to do it.
Okay, so it might be something I might be better off shape changing myself and doing.
Because you can shape change 3 times per day.
Oh, okay. So
So into something and out of it doesn't count. Only counts as one.
So I could choose to be a bird, do a scatter out, and then be something else if I need to be later for combat.
You can, yes.
Okay, I'll save that until we get closer to the tower then. You know how awkward you look there? You're not comfortable.
Yeah, he'll sleep underneath.
He's determined to sit there. Unfortunately, it's going to hurt my knees and ankles. So.
Do you want me to move him?
Not yet. My knees and ankles don't hurt. Just.
Okay, so yes, you are moving on towards the keep.
Mm-hmm.
You've got it's coming on tonight as you're getting into.
Oh, it's taken us that long, has it?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to create my circle of protection sooner rather than later.
And as night starts to fall, you see a shooting star heading to the northeast.
Okay. how well can we see it? I told you weren't comfortable, and now you're moving up onto my knees.
Well, you see a shooting star moving to the northeast.
Okay, well, shooting star noted and somewhat concerning.
That's a bad omen.
Why do you think it's a bad omen? Like, is there a belief system you have that says that shooting stars are a bad omen?
Well, the Ethengarians, I'm sure, with the shooting stars. See that, or gods are up to something, which can't be good anyway.
No, I agree with the god side of things.
Okay.
I'm wondering if I should. Are we going to set camp or keep going, guys?
I think we should set camp.
Although, I guess if we want to investigate a keep for undead, we may want to do it while it's dark. No, probably set camp.
No, we want to do it in the light. You don't want to investigate. They're more powerful in the dark.
Yeah, that's true. How big a circle will the protection from good and evil circle do? Ritual. Oh, it will say here. It's a barrier that stops the creature inside or outside if they fail.
Can your thing protect us from the undead if they come out?
Yeah, that's why I asked. Yeah, so if we're going to set camp, I'll do protection from good and evil. I need to roll for that, I'm guessing.
Give me a sec. I'm just looking up the details.
Sorry, the cat's making it hard for me to reach. He's determined to sit there no matter how awkward it was. I don't know why he's obsessed.
Well, because you're sitting there.
Isn't he just as obsessed when you're sitting there?
Well, he is, but someone else is sitting there, so...
Someone's sitting
You do know that cats are natural rakiers, so they feel when someone needs healing and they will try and sit on you.
Yes, except pooping on me was not appreciated.
No, he has been known to do that.
Nice.
He's been having a problem recently with that. Apparently it's to do with the anxiety.
Pussycat.
Yeah, well, he's on anxiety meds, but it doesn't seem to be stopping the behaviour.
Okay, so...
Have you tried that thing you can get called Fellaway?
Oh yeah, we've tried
To do that, you have to have an area dedicated to just the cat and not people.
And he won't stay in there on his own.
So
He has a sook all night.
if you actually have people smell amongst the Folly Wave, it just renders it useless.
Yeah, it's not as effective.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I read the instructions.
Mm.
Right. Gee.
Well, we used to do it when they used to sleep in the laundry together, and they were happy then, but he's on his own now, and if we put him in the bathroom so that he can be in there on his own, it's cold in there, even with the heater on.
Yeah, he won't
and
be happy.
He just yowls, like, he gets really obnoxiously loud.
Well, he won't like it. He'll be missing. You know, he's not used to sleeping.
No, and we don't like segregating him either, but
no.
we also don't like it when he poops in the bed.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so your character can do a roll for that, for the protection. So as long as you don't roll a 1, you're going to succeed.
Okay, well, that was a 19, so I may have wasted a really good roll.
Not always if it succeeds.
Hopefully it does its job. I'm hope to see a vampire and to talk to one, but I just want to be protected from it as well. Alright, so that's done.
Okay, so you create a barrier that none of the party members can cross.
Yeah, and I'll mark it with, I'll find some salt or something.
It will glow slightly.
Oh, it'll glow? Okay, yeah. I'll make sure it's seeable. And I'll kind of create like a little circle so that people know that if they cross the pre-circle, they're getting too close to the other one. Alrighty.
Okay, I'm just going to duck to the bathroom while you guys figure out what you're going to do for your first night near the undead.
I think we should set sentries. I'm happy to... If someone's happy to cover at least 4 hours, I'm happy to keep everyone else... Oh, do I have to be awake for the... I think he's got...
Once you've rested for 8 hours, then it no longer works.
Oh, yeah, I'm only planning to rest for 4, though. Well, since I can't rest, I'm happy to do sentry duty while everybody else rests. Guys?
How are you rested at all?
Well, I only need 4 hours, and let's presume that I've already had 4 hours in the last 24 hours. And because the protection thingy, if I have 8 hours rest, it'll drop. I'm happy to stay up for the main part of the night, and
Okay, we can always wake us if you need help.
yeah, that's it. And that means that you guys will be fully rested, and then I can have like a little nap just before dawn.
Yeah, okay, cool.
And then, yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Does make sense.
So I guess between you and Yodri, figure out who goes first, and... Oh no, you guys are gonna sleep. I'm staying up. Sorry, my brain got it all flipped over. I might play my flute and hopefully
Playing your flute will attract things.
Yeah, no, I kind of hoping to actually...
Well, it might not be a good idea because then we'll all be awake and we'll be fighting undead.
Actually, that's a good point too. Sorry, I am all muddled up today.
That's okay.
I just think my brain's just very muddled. It's been like that a lot more recently.
Yeah. There's a lot happening, a lot of sun activity and stuff. It's making everybody a bit fuddled.
Oh, we've had a really dramatic 8 weeks or so with NDIS and car accidents and unwell pets and
all sorts of stuff.
All sorts of things. So yeah, I'm probably feeling a bit of the effects of that catching up on me.
Yeah.
And I haven't slept very well the last couple of days, so that always makes me just a little bit not... I get confused really easily. I was thinking of the flute playing as being entertainment for myself to keep myself awake, but I think I can always do quiet activities like catch up in my tree journal, all the stories that I want to tell my tree and write letters to my friends.
That's a good idea. As long as you don't just get so focused on doing that, you don't notice that anything's around.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's some way to set up like an alarm around the perimeter.
Well, that's what the protection from good and evil spell will do.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's fine.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I put that in place as well, but in order to maintain it, I need to be awake.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Well, once you finish your long rest, for you it's 4 hours because you're an elf.
Yeah.
It all comes down.
Well, that's it. That's why I'm not sleeping and the other guys are resting. But I got mixed up and I almost said that they're going to do watch and I'm sleeping. And then I had the very bad idea of playing my flute until Sue pointed out that that's just going to make a lot of noise and attract things. But as I said, I'm fairly easily confused today.
That's okay.
Got a lot of... My brain's...
A bit befuddled.
Pretty, very much so.
Oh. It's okay, I'm a little the same, but we're getting there. Okay, so who's volunteered for first watch with you?
Well, I've said that they can sleep and get some rest while I'm keeping watch, and I'll wake them if there's anything alarming. Because that seemed like a good idea, because we're going to spend the day in a keep, although Yodri hasn't said.
Well, I could do the twilight time.
Okay, yeah.
Midsection.
Yeah. Maybe just make sure I'm awake and keep me company for a bit.
Since I can see in magical darkness as well.
That's handy.
Well, if you can see magical darkness, why aren't you on the late night shift then?
Because
I am on the late night.
yeah, I think you said the late night shift.
Okay, so while you're resting, I will give you both a perception roll.
Either I see nothing or I reroll.
You don't have to succeed at everything.
No, well, in that case I see nothing. But I don't like... Everyone says that to me, you don't have to succeed at everything, and rolling a 1 is okay, but it never ends okay, and my experience of this is very much the antithesis of your assurances.
Yeah. I got a 20. Not a natural one, just a 20.
Okay, so you're having a look around. It is getting dark. You do hear strange noises in the woods nearby. What do you do? Does Yodri tell of the strange noises in the woods?
Yeah, I'll mention that there's strange noises. I can't really determine what it's called. Is it an animal or anything like that, or just totally weird?
Hard to tell. You're not really a forest person.
Unfortunately, the forest person rolled a 1, and the other foresty type person... well, we could wake the ranger, because I think we've got a ranger next to us. Sue, are you a ranger? Or a barbarian? Or a warrior?
Ranger.
Yeah, you're a ranger, so you're a foresty person as well. So, I think we might...
sleep.
We just might wake her up and tell her we're hearing strange sounds. Yodri can't determine what they are, and for some strange reason, neither can I. Because I don't know, I rolled a 1.
Okay. Well, if you do that, then we'll have to...
Hopefully you'll investigate, and hopefully you'll roll better than I did.
Okay. Okay, +5. Roll. I rolled a 14 and I get a +5. So 19.
19. Okay, so having a look, you can see what appears to be a little glow in the forest off into the distance.
Oh, so I tell them that. Does it look like a fire, or is it a torch, or...?
Well, it's moving, but you're not exactly sure what it is. It's a bit too far away.
Is it kind of like
Is it moving towards us?
sprites, maybe?
Well, as you concentrate, the light goes out.
Oh, okay.
Oh. I do tell them I've seen something. So maybe we should all be very alert. Maybe wake up Zal.
If she's there?
Whether she's there or not, you can still wake her up.
Okay. Oh. NPC Zal.
And, the whole can't see anything because it's dark.
I've got dark vision, I think. Thought I had dark vision.
Oh, M can't see anything because it's dark.
Oh, right. Okay.
So whether you've got dark vision or not doesn't help her see.
No, but it might help if we investigate further as we're watching and keeping watch on it. But I don't have that kind of details on here.
So the glow isn't a glow as such, so because the M can't see it. So
Well, it went out while we concentrated on it. So M can't see it anyway because it's gone out while we were watching.
oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, we're keeping an eye in all directions, I guess.
Okay. So give me a perception roll.
Oh, I do have dark vision.
So you can all perceive away.
I don't know what to add for my perception.
Your perception is 4 plus relevant ability.
I get a +2 and I rolled a 19, so 21.
I'm looking at the wrong character.
Oh, my passive perception is 18. So.
I was looking at the wrong character, sorry.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to get to your character.
I found one here that says +8. So I take the... Should have taken the passive perception of 18 when I got that one.
Well, it's 4 plus an ability of your choice. Normally wisdom, which would be then 10.
And when passive perception is 18 and it's higher than what I rolled, or I just...
You either take passive perception on what you roll.
Yeah, so what I rolled is lower than passive perception, so I was hoping to take the passive perception, which is 18. Because I got like 16.
Yes, but you're actively looking.
Okay, so I get the 16.
Yes.
Then. Okay, alright. That wasn't clear to me.
Yeah. Okay. So passive perception is what creatures are rolling against to sneak past you if you don't know they're there.
Okay.
It's not for when you're actively looking.
I'm having trouble hearing you. I don't know.
Sorry. Passive perception is for when you don't know they're there and they're trying to sneak past you. That would be the target number for them to sneak past you without you noticing them.
Alright. Well, then that's a 16.
And what did Yodri and Imni get, please?
I got a 29.
And Imni's on mute again.
She got a 21.
Okay.
I got a 21. I
Okay.
rolled 19 and I get a +2.
Okay.
Yeah, I rolled a 19 and I got a +10 for my perception.
Did Zal return to our mic? Probably still busy, so she'll let us know when she's back. Okay, so yes, two of you are looking around trying to find out what's going on, and Yodri seems to hear what sounds like a scraping noise coming from the other direction from where you saw the light previously. Sounds like something scraping against the bark of a tree. So what does Yodri do?
Forgot this is a push to talk. So it's behind where everybody else is looking, so behind us at the moment, correct?
That is correct.
Yep, so I've heard something behind us. I'll try to see if I can focus my attention in that area.
We might try and position ourselves so that we can all look kind of in each direction. So if Yodri is looking, say, west, for example, I can look north, while Imni looks east, and Zal looks west.
Okay. Okay, as you're looking around, you feel it get darker, even though the stars are still out. Everything just seems to dim. Until you can't see any stars whatsoever.
This sounds ominous.
Not even your little campfire is giving any light right now.
Can we still see, or are we in unnatural darkness?
At the moment, you're struggling to see.
I might try casting Moonbeam. To see whether or not that can light up the area. Just looking at.
Is the fire still giving off warmth?
The fire is still giving off warmth.
I think it might be an attack rather than anything else. But I was wondering if I could use it just to see whether or not it lights up the area.
You can.
So do I just roll for that then?
I'm guessing you just throw it out in one direction?
Yeah. I can't move it, can I?
Well, actually, you can point in a direction and have it come down in that direction.
Okay. So it comes down.
And it comes down from the sky.
Well, I'll have it come sort of down in an area where I last heard noise, or where Yodri last indicated there was noise. And it says it's got a 5-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder. Sorry, I'm struggling to read and remember.
It's okay.
Just needs me to concentrate for up to 1 minute.
Yep.
Does that mean my boundary spell will end?
The boundary spell's not a concentration effect.
Okay, alright, so do I just roll then?
You don't need to roll because this is using one of your prepared slots. It's not a ritual.
Does anything happen?
Okay, you believe you got your spell off correctly.
But it changed nothing about our environment?
You can't see it.
Okay. So...
But you can hear the sound of things burning.
Okay, so there is something out there.
Well, there's a forest.
Will the forest be burnt by Moonbeam?
That does damage.
Okay.
Everything in the area of effect takes 2d10 radiant damage.
Okay, I didn't realise it would burn the forest. I thought it would just target creatures, but nothing lights up either, so it's not going to work in terms of giving us some sort of reflective light that we can see what's happening. Well, that was worth a try.
I'll pull out my moon blade, seeing if that actually does anything.
Okay, you feel your moonblade come out, but it doesn't seem to light up either.
Does that mean if you pull your blade out, does it indicate there's undead?
No, mine does. It's basically got a light spell on it.
But only works at night.
I'm fairly sure I've got daylight as a spell. But I don't think I've got it written up here. This... Oh, here it is.
It is a 3rd level spell.
So again, this is where I've got to choose a point to focus it on. If I focus it on the wrong point, it'll do nothing.
Well, it won't burn anything, which is good for you.
But it might light up the area.
It may.
Alright, I guess I'll give that a go.
You can basically cast it on something you're holding if you wish to.
I might pull out one of my stones that I collect stones and wood and things like that for carving and making materials. Might pull out something like that and cast it on that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yep. And see whether or not that has an effect.
Okay, you cast your daylight on it, and it seems to be like a little candle.
Does it light up the area at all?
Not really. You can sort of get it's like a tiny little candlelight, lighting up about 5 feet around it, and in its dim light.
Is it more light than what we had?
It's more light than what you had.
But still not a whole range of light for something that's supposed to be 60 feet of a 60 feet radius sphere.
It is. It's more light than you had, but it's not as powerful as you expected.
Yeah.
Meaning that it is most likely a magical darkness that is of a higher level than you have cast.
Okay, so I should have cast it at a higher level?
You can't cast those ones at higher levels.
Can't I?
No, they don't have a higher level option.
Okay. Alrighty. I have not fought these kind of creatures before, so I was kind of hoping we'd have Zal, but it looks like we're without Zal for the moment. Does anyone else have any ideas about what they want to do?
Well, my idea is just to sort of be quiet. If they're undead and they can sense us, they're coming for us anyway. But if we suspect they're coming and we're quiet and sit in the dark, don't have any lights or don't move around, then maybe we can surprise them.
I think that's a bit late. I think they already know we're here because of the magic causing the extra darkness around us and the scraping and the sounds that we're kind of barely hearing. I think they're already near us. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to create some kind of light so that we can see them when they come.
Yeah, but no, that's no point having light because it just shows where we are. I mean, we could always get up and move slightly.
I think they already know where we are. That's the point.
Yeah, but if we move, then they don't know where we are if it's dark. But as soon as you put lights on, they know immediately where we are.
If we turn out all the lights, we're in magical darkness. They can see us already in the magical darkness. These creatures that are creating this magical darkness, they can see in their own magical darkness. So there's kind of no hiding from them because they've cast this spell to disarm us, but it doesn't disarm them. They're undead.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Unfortunately, look, I'd really love to hide and then surprise them, but I think that's well gone and past. I think maybe in setting up we should have set traps or something, maybe.
Oh well. Okay.
But yeah, is that right, Martin? If that we got a spell like that on us, would that be a reasonable assumption?
With the set up traps?
No, that
If there's a spell on you that is preventing you from seeing, there's a good chance they have a way around it.
Yeah, so, because my understanding of those types of spells is that very powerful creatures cast them, and usually they cast them because they can see right through them.
That's normally true.
That's correct?
That is
Yeah,
correct.
basically it's my trick, because I can do exactly the same thing.
Yeah, and I think you've done that before, which is why I
did. Then I realised there was liches and they had true sight, which totally destroyed the idea.
Yeah. That's the only reason that I was trying to explain. I think we just wait for them to decide to attack now, and then attack as best we can against it.
Well, do you have any spells that you can target undead when they do attack?
Well, Daylight was what I thought was a really good one, but not good enough. So I'm going to have to be looking at... we discovered water was a weakness, so I'm probably going to be looking at... I think lightning is also a weakness for undead, is that right?
For some. Each of them can have different weaknesses.
Different weaknesses. So my hope was to use something like Call Lightning, Sleet Storm, those kind of things, which they are supposed to be a little bit more prone to. What's the word when they're more susceptible?
Having a weakness of some form.
Yeah. I'm just surprised that Daylight didn't do much at all, because Daylight usually works with vampires. I've got Water Walk. What is that?
Don't you have the ability to sense undead?
To be honest, I'm not sure.
I believe Zal would probably have that ability.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I said. I was hoping Zal would be with us, but
Because it might not even be undead.
it might not. You're right. Because flame doesn't really work against undead, does it?
Again, it depends on the undead. Not all undead are the same.
Okay, so that's not gonna work.
The Radiant generally works against all undead, which is different to Flame.
Mm.
Okay, so yes, I will give you each a perception roll.
No, I see nothing again.
What, another one?
4. It's not gonna reveal much.
It does have a plus 10.
Ooh! Oh, I rolled a natural 20. 22.
That's really good.
Yeah, I rolled badly. I got a 15.
Oh, but you get plus 10.
That's what I meant. I rolled badly.
Oh, I see. So you only rolled 5. I get it.
I'm back.
You're back!
Oh, hello. Yay!
So would someone...
Mia's always a pain in the ass when I put her to sleep.
Well, it's because there's one person.
Well, she's used to Josh putting her down. So when it's me, it's like, oh, it's exciting. Mommy's putting me to sleep. Oh, I gotta wobble. No.
So you're...
Okay.
So you give your understanding of where you are. You've gone to...
I've been listening, but I know where I am. I also don't understand why I got woken up when we literally have a barrier that's supposed to stop undead and stuff coming in. So while we're shrouded in magical darkness, as long as we're in our barrier, we shouldn't be too concerned, surely.
I'm more concerned by the fact that we've lost sight, so it's a fairly powerful person, and Daylight did nothing, and Moonbeam did nothing. So it seems...
We're just wasting it's making us waste spell slots and energy when we really don't need to.
Well, you've got to remember, Thala's never encountered vampires before, so she doesn't know that this is wasting energy, and this is her first experience.
Probably when you woke Zal up, though, irrespective of the fact that you've already done that, Zal probably, like, after seeing the spell you cast light up at least something, I'd probably say stop wasting your magic.
I don't know whether or not Martin will retrospectively...
Well, no, I'm saying, like, I'm saying, in terms of retrospect, if you've already cast Daylight, Zal sees that, like, dim glow, presumably, through the darkness, and presumably we can still hear each other. No one's been talking to each other, so Zal says out loud, quite loudly, stop wasting your magic.
Yeah.
Well, up until then you were saying, be quiet so they don't actually hear you.
Well,
me, or was that
Imni was saying...
That was Imni.
Imni was saying if we're quiet, there might be a chance that they can't see us, and if we changed positions in the darkness, we could... they could possibly lose us, and I was trying to explain that the type of spell they're using means it's unlikely that they can't... It's a case of we can't see them, but they can see us no matter kind of what we do, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, no, and Zal completely agrees with that, which is why we shouldn't be wasting magic trying to make light when clearly this is just designed to make us freak out. If they were going to attack us, they probably would have done it as soon as they cast the spell. They want us to come out of our barrier.
Okay.
In terms of my perception roll, I just rolled natural 20 as well.
As Imni got a natural 22.
So my perception is plus 4, so 24.
Okay, so the two of you that rolled a natural 20, you can hear the sound of footsteps to what you think is the north and the south of your little encampment.
I presume they're just outside of the magical barrier?
Probably about 50 to 100 feet from the barrier.
Okay, well, I'll let everyone know. That's what I worked out, what I hear.
And Zal will concur and reiterate the fact that they're probably trying to disorientate us by casting this magical darkness, and we really should just, like, stay still. We can talk, they know we're here. Doesn't matter what we do right now. As long as we stay within our magical circle, we should be okay.
Hey.
What is Zal's armor class?
I believe they're invisible.
What is Zal's armor class?
My armor class is 16.
Okay, so you see a blue bolt of energy fly and strike you in the back.
Whoa!
That sounds like a lot of dice.
There was a few.
I'm also not watching the stream. I should probably watch the stream because then I'll be able to see how much dice and I'm actually back on my computer.
Well, that was 19 points of cold damage.
Ow!
Ooh. So they just they cast what is it, chill touch.
And that was 16 points of piercing damage as arrow is sticking out of Zal's back.
Oh my goodness. So the barrier didn't work.
I know the barrier worked, it's just that the barrier is not impervious to attack.
No. God damn it. Alright.
You do hear someone say yes after you say that?
Shit. Let me guess, I'm talking with my god now.
No, someone else has got your attention.
Oh no. Why do I always do this? Why do I always do this?
You want to see what happens when you do it.
Yeah, because apparently I'm the proponent.
What, you're going to cast Command Undead?
No. Alright, well, I've got an arrow sticking out of my back, and that doesn't make sense in terms of what I presume I got hit by chill touch, and then hit by an arrow?
No, it was the arrow.
It was the arrow?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is new, presumably, to Zal. Because I didn't think you could imbue something like an arrow with, like...
Frost arrow.
So they're elves?
Well, there's quite a few people who can do it. Give me a nature roll.
Nature roll.
Can I help her with that?
If you want. I got a 18.
So if Imni's helping you with it, I'll give you an extra d4 to your roll.
D4. Do I roll it, or does Imni roll it?
You get to roll that.
I need to roll it, okay. 2, so that's a 20. Oh my. How did my headset just beeped at me?
It needs power.
Oh, last night. Ooh. No.
Headset needs more power. You forgot to feed headset.
I did forget to go power. Oh, it's on 4%. I should go find a charging cable.
I could hand you one, but it's a bit hard to reach you from here.
I'm sorry, I have lots of cables at my disposal. I just need a... Is it USB-C or is it... Oh, that's micro. I just need to find one in my drawers of things. That is not micro. That is not micro. This is bag of big. Oh, what the heck. Those are micros, but they are not.
So to help with your character, you do remember that the base function of protection from good and evil is that it stops things from charming, frightening, or possessing you. It just makes it harder for them to attack you.
But if they can cast things... So that's all I get with a 20 on Major?
No, that was something else from the what you know the spell does. That
right,
your protection
okay.
spell.
Right. Yep.
From nature, there's quite a few Fae, for instance, that can do that sort of thing.
Oh joy.
And Dark Fae are known to inhabit the same areas as undead.
And presumably Dark Fae are not friendly? Or potentially not friendly?
Or from a point of view.
Maybe they're working for the guy.
The bad guy? I mean, it could be. Or they could just think that we're, intruding on their lands and they're retaliating. I will say out loud, I'm sorry if we are intruding on your lands. We just wanted a safe spot to sleep for the night.
You hear a voice carry an echo around you, seeming to come from both sides of the clearing at once, asking you what gift do you offer.
Pity we didn't have the coffee night here, because this would be a great time to give them some coffee.
I mean,
Fowler has coffee.
I look at Fowler and I'm like, you've got coffee?
Of course I do.
Well,
Halbrix keeps me supplied.
isn't that the last time we gave coffee to the Fae ended up really bad? Yes.
So
Yes, but it was hilarious.
you made the very nice face psychotic.
Psychotic.
I also have hot chocolate and honey milk, which I give to Axebeaks and Core Coffee, but still require a ritual that makes friends with people. And cookies.
I think they're probably looking for something slightly more magical rather than...
The cookies have healing properties.
They do?
Yeah,
Huh.
I'm a druid.
I guess. Did you want to offer the Fae healing cookies?
I offer them healing cookies and hot chocolate if they want it. Or tea.
They will give you a persuasion roll to see how tempting you can make it.
I'm not Calcrix, but the dice have hated me tonight, though. To be honest, I've rolled
That means
3
you
ones.
get to add plus 10 to the roll.
Did you say just plus 10?
Plus 10, yes.
18.
18's not a bad roll.
No.
Okay, so.
What does say that? Okay. I was just checking to see if it had my thingies on there. And it does.
So,
Is 18 good enough, though?
We shall find out.
you shall find out. So you hear the sound of large footsteps coming towards you.
Okay. Starla's going to try really hard to stay put.
And then you're absolutely blinded by the daylight on your rock.
Put the daylight rock in my pocket.
So that little candlelight thing is now this blaring big light going out everywhere as you realise they've released the darkness.
I put it in my pocket and hopefully it goes out as
You
much as...
you can also dispel the daylight spell.
Well, I'll do that then.
And
Because
you
you cast it, so...
Yeah. Sorry, I'm in a lot of pain today.
It's okay.
No,
This is
that's
the
okay.
second
I'm sorry,
time
I think
I've
I
taken-
interrupted Martin too.
I've taken Oxy and Tramadol for the second time today, which is a lot of pain. Oh, and ibuprofen or naproxen or whatever it was.
Mm.
So yes, you see what appears to be a elf that's all wrong.
I don't know about all wrong.
Well, their teeth look almost to be as sharp as daggers. They have
It's kind of cool. My best friend's a dragon.
They have slits for their nostrils. Their ears are about 3 times as long.
Again, my best friend's a dragon.
They look extraordinarily beautiful and cruel at the same time.
Still, my best friend's a dragon?
Mm-hmm.
Is it
I
just...
mean, at this point, we've probably seen lots of abominations, so...
It doesn't look like an abomination. It just looks like a weird rendition of an elf.
It's like a cursed elf.
So it's not quite the dark elf sort of look of things. It just
Well, you can see Martin doesn't have 3 foot long ears.
It looks very like a unnatural version of an elf, which you think that the elves may actually be descendant from,
Okay. That's
So
interesting.
very ancient, possibly.
as in Fey Lord.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Fey Lords always look slightly like the creatures that they're mimicking, but just enough that it makes you wince looking at them.
Interesting. Well, definitely don't want that on the enemy list. Yeah.
So it extends its hand in greeting to wait for you to provide your end of the bargain.
Sorry, that grinding went forever.
Presumably, Thala
Handed Zelda stuff.
Pardon?
I believe Thala handed Zelda stuff.
Oh, did she? Oh, okay. I will hand it to the Fey Lord.
I will give you an insight roll.
Insight roll. Okay. What is my insight? Oh, my insight is not too bad. 21?
21's not a bad roll. You realise it stopped on the other side of the barrier that your druid Thala had put up, meaning that if you were to hand it anything, you would then be breaking the barrier, thus bringing it down.
No.
And it goes, yes. And that would then free up 90% of its powers to affect you. Most of their abilities are mind affecting.
Right.
Martin,
Yep.
is that barrier broken if I say we're to turn into a bird and fly up?
As long as you don't pass the circle physically. So you can fly up as high as you like, just that you can't physically move out.
So if I were to throw the package over
You would
it,
then be crossing the barrier with something.
and if as a bird I flew up and then tossed it, same deal?
The same sort of deal, yes.
Yeah.
The reason the moonbeam worked was it came from above and not from you.
Okay. Alright. So this
Zal
technically...
kind of stands there, perplexed that he almost got tricked into doing this.
Would
Sounds
my
like a very
familiar
brave thing to do.
break the protection as well?
Would your...
Familiar.
Sorry, I didn't get the word.
I think he's saying familiar?
Familiar.
Yeah, my familiar.
Are you going to send your familiar across the barrier?
I think the premise is anything crossing the barrier will break it.
Oh yeah, no, if I create it outside the barrier I still can't give it the cookies.
Well, if you create it outside the barrier, you can't control it.
I can use phase step, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could I phase step the cookies outside of the barrier? Without
No.
breaking the barrier?
Only if you went with it.
I'd be prepared to go with it. I can phase step myself back, right?
You can, but it generally takes a round.
No,
Well-
in which time it could totally incapacitate you. If it so chose to.
I have a feeling that it might not. Can I check to see if I have a... Like, would it be sight?
Give me an insight roll.
If I would be safe enough for... 18 plus, I'm not sure.
Your insight is also plus 10.
So 28.
So looking at it, it's been toying with you the whole time. It only attacked the person who said that you're perfectly safe inside the barrier.
So
They
that's
attacked
me.
a smart fucking cleric who knew what they were talking about.
Oh, right. So it's got no intention of
No, which is why Zal's a bit perplexed.
You believe it's a dark fae, as in one of the fae that deal with entropy, and it's most likely aligned with the vampire of the region.
Right.
And in doing so, it only comes out at night.
Right.
And it will basically play havoc with the group to stop them resting.
Right. So my recommendation would be, I'm sorry you are not being true in your offer of friendship.
Well, it never offered friendship, it was offering.
Well, you're not being true in your inference
intention.
that a tithe or payment will satisfy you for the evening, so I'm not coming out of my circle. I will leave these cookies for you in the morning to get tomorrow night. And I will stay within my circle, and everyone should rest.
And that's keeping your end of the bargain?
Yep. That's what I will do.
Because amusingly, that is the smarter move. You've made a bargain to give it something.
Mm.
The bargain was never to drop the barrier.
Yeah.
Or what would happen if the barrier dropped.
So I will leave these things for it to collect when it next comes through the area. But
So if another party member were to say, then remove said offering, then you would have broken the bargain.
Well, I'd be hoping no party members will remove my offering.
No, not removing it, but just silently cursing myself that I almost got tricked into breaking the barrier and potentially, having shit hit fan. But that's Zal's problem, not yours.
And I'll remind everyone to stay within the barrier. And maybe to get some sleep.
Well,
I'm gonna put the parcel down right in front of where he's standing, kind of give him like a little raised eyebrow, you almost got me. I respect that. You almost got me. And then go head back to sleep.
Okay, he salutes Zala for actually understanding the bargain.
I'm lucky I rolled a 28.
And as you walk away, you can hear it whisper to you as if it's right in your ear. I'll see you later, Zal.
Great.
Next time you call me, I'll be there. Thrice is the call, it says.
Oh, you called it?
I may have said GDI twice.
Okay.
In its
I'm
domain.
not going to repeat that again. I hope.
And it says it's only a matter of time as it fades away.
So you
Yeah,
mean we could have
probably.
avoided this?
Hmm?
Do you mean we could have avoided this?
No, because I said the first GDI after I got hit by the frostbolt thingy,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And
and then I said it again when I almost got tricked into breaking the barrier.
so you do realise that the arrow that's in your back is almost your height. As the fae that shot it was a large creature using a longbow.
Yay! I'm probably gonna spend a bit of time gingerly getting that out of my back and probably casting some healing magic before I go to sleep.
Well, you
And
also
probably-
realise that if the barrier had come down, there's a good chance the arrow probably would have animated and kept going.
No, great.
They do have magical arrows.
Fantastic.
This doesn't sound good for you at all.
No, and so I'm still silently cursing myself for being a stupid cleric, bad cleric, naughty.
I give you a comforting pat on the shoulder.
I'm just waiting for Chauvel to come in and say fouled cleric.
Well, he's not here, and unless he watches the video, he will never know.
Yeah, I'm just worried if I ever swear to any gods, what's going to happen, since I'm the only one that hasn't actually done this yet.
I must have missed this because I was in the bathroom. What did Zal actually say? That
I said that there's no way anything can attack us through the barrier.
Oh, okay, because she said that's Alright.
Say
You said
anything.
that.
I said nothing can come through the barrier. Not that it can't attack through the barrier.
Well, that was pretty much what it took as the response.
I was just
Yeah, well, this is why I have an arrow through my back currently. So
It went challenge accepted.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah. Oh. You mean you can't get magic through the barrier? Here, I have an arrow in the knee.
I'm not sure about the pool time, so let me know if it tastes horrible or not.
I will. Okay, so yes.
And I really hope someone got that reference.
Could you make the reference again?
Yep, so
I said I took an arrow to the knee, not to the back, but it's in reference to something else.
yep, so Zal got married.
Oh, right, yeah. Yes.
It's a Skyrim reference because all the NPCs, almost the NPCs, one of their line is.
I took an arrow to the knee and I got
An
married.
arrow to the knee.
Martin has played Skyrim enough for me to know a few Skyrim references. Mostly the artwork was cool, and that's what I took away from it. But
And that the NPCs do weird things, which was the most enjoyable part of it.
Yeah, some of the really weird stuff NPCs get up to.
Oh yeah.
Also, don't attack the chicken.
No.
No, that's in Zelda.
Is it?
Yes.
Also, the first village that you walk into, if you attack the chicken, you get mugged by all the villagers.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. But yes, it's also a Zelda reference. You don't attack chickens in Zelda games. It ends badly for you.
Now just imagine what happened if you tried to attack Chocobo.
Yeah, that wouldn't end well for anybody.
Just after Chocobo had had coffee.
Even better, apparently.
Okay, so each of you has an uneasy night, having come close to a pact with the Fae.
Well, I'm not allowed to sleep until dawn, so
About 4 hours to dawn is where you just rest.
yeah.
Luckily, you don't have to sleep.
Yeah.
You can just stare mindlessly for 4 hours and be well rested.
Yeah. Meditate.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so morning comes with a bleary red brightness. I say bleary red because most of you didn't sleep well at all.
I make coffee for anyone. Does that help?
It does.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's gonna roll
surprised
dice in a
Zal
minute
actually
now.
has coffee. He doesn't normally have it, but this is a special occasion.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, we're hoping to explore a vampire's keep.
And Zal now has a souvenir that is almost like a javelin or spear.
What do you mean?
The arrow that got shot in her back. His back.
Yeah.
The arrow is almost as tall as Zal. Not that Zal's particularly
Right,
tall,
I see.
but
Yeah.
what am I? I'm like 5'7" or something.
That's still a pretty big arrow.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
fired that thing?
No, actually,
The
I'm
big
shorter than that.
creature
I'm
that came up to
5'1".
the...
Okay.
Because they were a large creature.
Yeah.
So
So this
I'm
one's
5'1", so shorter than me in real life.
I was gonna say shorter than me in real life too, but not by much.
Not by much. Not by much, but still, an arrow as tall as us, basically.
So you got hit by a ballista.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, I'm gonna stick it in the ground next to the cookies.
So does Zal understand Sylvan?
Sylvan, no.
I do.
Don't.
Okay.
Oh,
That is a language that Zal does not know out of the many languages that Zal knows.
Okay, so it looks like Thala looks at it and she says, she reads out your full name on the arrow.
Oh, man.
Is this like the arrow for destined for Chevelle at one point?
No, he's literally named me as his, like, target. Which is why he had that ominous threat of I will see you again next time you slip up.
Yeah, yep. Well, enough exploring we will go.
And also, when you have a look for the offering, you realise the offering is gone, and there are nice little footprints around it too.
Well, at least I'm reassured no one will nick the offering before it gets...
They're in the shape of axe beat footprints.
Oh, are they?
Mm-hmm.
I'll make sure that I'm going to wait for the rest of the party to go a long distance away. I'm going to put the offering high up in the tree.
Like, you realise my axe beak literally swings from tree to tree. I'm gonna turn this arrow spear in the direction of my axe beak and go, next time you steal an offering, this is gonna go somewhere where the sun don't shine.
Yeah, if I understand the faith thing is, you actually have to put it exactly where you said you were going to put it, because
they're sticklers for detail.
Okay, well, I'll
Yeah.
put it where I said I'd put it. Is there anything stopping me from putting it slightly underground though?
Yes, then it's not exactly where you said you put
Okay,
it.
alright. Well, I feel like I need to sit here all day and wait until the evening.
No. Zal's literally gonna, after threatening Chocobo, is gonna probably mount up on Chocobo for the day so he can keep an eye on
and
things.
And he's all nice and happy now.
hope to heck your
Of course
horse
he
or
is.
your griffin don't feel like cookies. I can charm animals though, so I might lead them all off with my flute for a short while, but as Imi suggested, I won't make too much noise for too long, just enough to keep the animals occupied, to keep them away from the offering, so that I don't end up with a 5-foot arrow with my name on it.
it'd be interesting if Chocobo gets uplifted to an intelligence of 5.
Well,
I mean,
the
it's gonna
cookies do
be
have
close to
magical
awakening
properties.
soon, right?
And Martin's never specified what the magical properties are, just that they do. They're at his discretion, I think.
I think Chocobo's slightly smarter than the base Chocobo, but I have no idea by how much.
I think they might.
I think their natural intelligence is -3.
Martin likes playing around with animals.
I can actually look it up because I put it onto the character sheet for Ariadne already.
Oh,
How many Chocobos can carve runes?
So that they have a -4 on their intelligence.
Oh, -4 is even worse
Wow.
than I thought.
It's okay, their charisma is -3. There is a reason why their presence is so poor.
Well, aren't they very menacing?
Well, menacing, yes, and also they don't follow social niceties.
No.
I'm just going to put
Which
this on
is
quiet.
kind of why shit, what was I gonna say? I lost it.
I've been having that all day.
And you've got a happy Chocobo because he got what he wanted.
No, he got cookies and milk.
He got happy cookies.
I'm surprised that Imi actually doesn't have a lot of animals, because she's a ranger. Don't rangers usually collect animals?
They can as well.
Yeah. Is it just rangers, or...
Druids and rangers normally collect
I don't
animals.
have any animals either. Why don't I have
You are the animal.
Because I collect my own animals in myself?
You turn into animals.
Yeah, I guess so.
Remember the octopus hat?
Yes.
That was funny. I
Yes.
loved that bit.
We all need an octopus hat story in our lives. And I can do a giant octopus now.
But just look at it. Now she can turn herself into a giant octopus and swallow someone.
The ink cloud would be more of a puddle.
So if she swallows someone and then returns to normal size, does that mean she explodes?
Not necessarily. They might just eject out.
Ooh.
Yeah, don't think about it too hard.
No.
Just don't.
But Ross sounded so delighted.
Of course he would.
I think he was volunteering.
Well, at least he's a halfling.
No, she can't transform into a kraken.
Well, it could, if you really wanted to.
Hey, giant octopus is close enough for a halfling.
That's true.
Okay, so as the light finally comes up and off, and you're all getting ready to go, you see that the trees around you seem to have letters carved into them.
Great.
Can we read the letters?
Yep, from right to left, it seems to say Zal.
Oh, I see. Okay, so someone's making their point more than once.
Mm-hmm.
They're not subtle.
No. What did you do to this creature?
Absolutely nothing. I probably insulted its intelligence by telling you guys that it couldn't attack us, and so it decided to be pissed off at me.
Technically, didn't you just say we were absolutely safe in the circle?
I said nothing could come into the circle, as in like a creature couldn't come through the circle.
Well, technically it couldn't unless we broke the barrier.
Yes, which is why I decided to shoot me in the back to prove a point. With an arrow named with my full name.
Okay.
So it's made its point.
But yeah, I don't see how that's insulting it.
Well,
Zal, how far do you know your family tree?
Well, that's also a good point.
probably pretty well by now. I mean, I've had my Book of Shadows for...
Yeah, can you quickly check to see if you happen to be related to this person that we're going to?
I don't think I'm related to any vampires. I don't think so, anyway.
No uncles or second cousins? Aunts twice removed?
The whole point of being necromancers is that you're not generally something else.
Well, you do have vampires on your dwarven side.
Mm-hmm. That is true. But that's special. That they're dwarves.
You're a human, but you've got dwarves in your ancestry?
Yeah, don't
Reincarnation is a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, don't ask questions.
You can still be related to people after you've come back as a completely different race and sex.
Oh, I guess
Yeah.
I do a would it be insight check to know if this really ancient it is an ancient vampire that's supposedly in this region, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like got folklore around it that it might even be the first vampire.
Yeah, I mean, so in that case, technically, maybe very, 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 very distantly, maybe actually related. But I would have no way of verifying that, probably.
Well, under family lines, you're distantly related to the Traldarans because they're also the ones who are in Moldavia, because that's also their people. And being distantly related to them, nearly all Traldarans are descendants of the Traldar. And it's rumoured that he predated the Traldar.
Yeah, okay.
There was a lot of lore in the last session about that came from the servant of the... Is he an earl or a jarl? Or
Lord.
Lord. Of the keep where we stayed just before we came on to here.
Right. While everyone else is getting ready, I'm gonna go... Actually, I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Probably is, because he's proved his point. remove my name from the trees.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea what to do with this arrowhead. I probably... Who has... No, I actually have a bag of holding. I'll put it in my bag of holding because it's really just... I just don't know what to do with it right now. And
Okay, as you go to put it in your bag of holding, there's a grinding noise.
oh, it's magical, isn't it?
It is
You can't
magical.
go in?
It doesn't go in.
Well, I guess...
And you hear a voice going, and you hear a voice in your head going, "No, thank you."
No, thank you. Oh, it's in this arrowhead, isn't it? Probably.
Or something else is.
Or something else is.
Could be your bag of holding saying no thank you.
I mean... Probably not, but... Okay. Also, I'm just gonna be right back in 2 seconds. My dinner is being delivered to my door.
So, with this guy being the first vampire, does that mean he might also be the first necromancer?
Maybe.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Or he might be the first successful long-term necromancer. He may be old enough to remember other civilizations.
He sounds like he'd be a great person to talk to if he perhaps doesn't want to kill us.
Okay, so while Zal's busily trying to remove his name from the trees,
I could maybe use some of my druidic ability to help her, just to speed along.
okay, as you have a look, you realise that the writing's not actually touching the trees.
Oh, okay. So it can't be removed?
Well, it's not actually on anything.
Okay.
You could dispel them, but that would use up some of your abilities for the day.
I will go back after Emmy gets back and check how badly she wants it removed.
Mm-hmm.
But for the moment, we can move along. I'm sure we want to try and get to this keep before the end of the night.
Okay, so...
Wait, sorry, what am I wanting removed?
Well, when you went to remove the writing from the trees, you realised the writing's not actually touching the trees.
It's a spell, and I can use a dispel magic to get rid of it. But considering going into a vampire keep today, I don't know whether or not you want me to use magic to dispel it, or whether you want me to save my magic for vampire keep.
You would have to cast 5 spells to get rid of your name.
Yeah, no, it's
And to be
not
honest,
worth spending that much.
I'm not sure if it would work long term, because just to spite us, after I do it, they might reappear.
Yeah, I mean, either that or we'll come back the next line and cast it again
Yeah.
near me again anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna sigh really loudly and...
Well, that looks very much like an arcane mark.
What does that
Oh,
mean?
really?
Yeah, that's a magical sigil that you can put on things.
Okay, is that
Um,
like that?
Well, it's not something you can just wipe off.
Okay.
You have to use magic to remove.
Yeah, no, you would need to cast the spell magic
I
5
don't.
times, and we literally don't have that many spell slots to do that, even between the two of us probably.
Yeah.
Because I also have dispel magic.
Well, I don't know if you like my cookies, but they seem to make everyone feel better, so I offer you a cookie.
I'll check to see if Zal's got a name written on her. Knowing the Fae can do some weird things.
Well, it's written on the arrowhead apparently, not that I can read it. I make a mental note to also research, what is it?
Sylvan.
Sylvan? Because that is a language apparently I should know, and don't.
I'm surprised that I haven't taught you it yet.
Hasn't needed it until now.
Is this
We've rarely run into fairies, mostly they just go burgo crazy.
Or we make them go crazy.
Up
Or
until
learn
he
other
joined, they hadn't used Sylvan very often, and he'd been teaching other languages.
Yeah, but one of the things we can do as part of downtime is teach each other languages.
Yep.
So I can teach you as a part of downtime.
Yeah, and if you want to learn any language, I've got a few
Yeah.
really obscure ones as well.
That would be good.
Okay, so as Yodri has a look at Zal's back, Yodri, give me a insight check.
Just before I forget, I'm happy to teach Imni and Yodri if they don't know it. I'm not sure what Imni's languages are.
Well, it's also based off.
Yeah, I rolled a 12. I'm rolling a lot of 9s and 10s.
It sounds like me.
So is that a total of 12, or you rolled 12?
I rolled a 12. I
Okay.
only got an insight of 2. And if it was perception, I would roll a 20.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, so you see a lot of bumps and ridges around the wound.
Nothing definitive, unfortunately, at that level.
Zal, are you going to heal yourself?
Does my cookie help heal a little bit?
You can close over wounds, it doesn't remove them.
Okay, cool. Well, you just eat the cookie, that'll help. I think mostly it has an uplifting effect. I think that's what we discussed.
It has a little bit of addictive quality to it too.
A little bit. But I'm always around, so...
The first cookie is free.
I'm pretty sure I said when I took Arrow out that I was going to cast a little bit of healing magic on me, but...
You have?
Which is probably why it's bumpy, because, you know, it wasn't actually, like, ditched or whatever, so it's literally just a...
I have a potion of healing. Would that help?
No, because it's technically already healed. The reason probably why you're seeing a bumpy raised wound is the fact that, you know, it wasn't... I've healed myself, but it's like...
It's fresh.
My understanding of magical healing is like, if you use magical healing before you've like fixed it properly, then you're basically like making
You get a scar.
seal over a bad wound or whatever.
So if you heal someone while they've got the arrow in them, you seal the arrow in the wound.
But she did take it out.
She did take it out.
Right.
So does Zal have a
I
mirror?
didn't- But I didn't like stitch the wound together or anything. I just literally like healed the wound, so it's all probably bumpy and looks like torn skin, kind of like really rough.
If you don't have a mirror, Martin just asked if you had a mirror. I believe I've got one in my pack.
I mean, at this point, Zold doesn't really care. I have other wounds and scars. This is just normal.
Look, I'm just interested. I have a look while Yodri's looking.
Give me an insight
Oh
roll.
shit, now I've got to get my dice. I've got comfy too.
Stay there, I will move things.
I was
and
going to
get
say,
you.
maybe just rocking on the camera.
Okay, no, I'll use one of your dice.
Oh, no, look, they've been shit today anyway.
Yeah, but the GM's rolling for you, so...
Well, I rolled a 15, so that makes it 25.
Well, there you go. What do I see? You should keep that in case I have to roll again.
Okay, looking at it, looks like there's, with all the ridges and bumps on her back, on his back, it
There's
looks
a
like there's some
character-
sort of map there.
Oh, okay, a map.
Hmm.
Can I make a sketch of the map?
You can.
I'll sketch the map and then show it to Zal. Do you reckon?
By the time you finish sketching it, you realise the bumps have shifted.
Oh, okay. I sketched that too. Do they shift again?
They seem to be shifting whenever you're not looking.
Okay. I intensely stare and sketch at the same time.
That is really creepy.
I can do it because I've been doing it with Drazzle. By the way, where is Drazzle?
Busily chewing on some cookies.
Okay. You're not sketching him?
No.
Okay.
Martin, also, is one of your webcams behind, like...
What? It is behind my laptop.
it's laptop.
When I got up to get the dice.
Yeah, he didn't move it back. Yeah.
And the other one's hidden partly behind a dice tower.
Oh, what dice tower is it in?
So you can sort of see the dice tower on the edge
Oh,
here.
the clear dice tower.
Yeah.
It's not covering anyone, so I didn't move it.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't notice that until you pointed it out, though.
I asked Drazzle, has he ever seen anything like this map?
He says yes.
Does he recognise it?
He wants your picture.
He points to... Right. Does he know
Because you've got a couple of copies of them now.
Does he know where this location is?
He shrugs. Hasn't been there yet.
Okay, alright. Well, that's something, I guess.
They'll probably look at it and presume that it's like, I don't know, a moving map of the region.
Yeah, but is it actually giving anything, or is it just a map of the region itself with no listings of
Yeah.
items of interest or places of interest?
Do
Probably
we...
it's like a top...
I'll give you an investigation roll to try to figure it out.
All of us? Or...
Whoever's looking. Go
I'm
to.
looking. I'm probably looking, but I was thinking, wouldn't it be like wouldn't your Fae person who threw that at you and caused it, that be maybe something he's given you
Wow.
as a way to find where we want to go?
Possibly, but it could also be them just toying with us again. They are Fae after all.
Yeah, they are.
So,
Anything they give you is considered a boon and a curse at the same time. Would you like me to roll for you? It was a 14 on that one. Which adds up to, for an investigation for you, a 20.
Oh, yeah, I don't think it's as high, but yeah.
Not one of your trained skills.
No.
So what did anyone else get on their investigations?
Imni, you were rolling?
Is that investigating what's on my back or investigating what?
The map that you're looking at, because you're trying to figure out.
I've drawn pictures for you, so you could be looking at those, or you could be using the mirror to look at your back directly.
yeah, okay, so I'm looking at it. I'm just sorry, it's just my grandson's here and he keeps talking, so I have to keep muting him.
No,
I
that's
understand.
Sorry, what role is it on?
Investigation.
Investigation.
One of those ones I don't pull out very often.
No.
No, because I'm not trained in it either. 15.
Ooh, I rolled a 16, 21.
Looks like Camdu's the. So Imni's the best one on there. I keep saying Camdu because I'm so used to it.
Sorry.
How about
I rolled
Yodri?
wonderful. Yeah, Yodri was the one who first started looking, so...
And what did Yodri get?
Since it doesn't have anything to do with the sea, I'm not really interested. I rolled a 4.
Oh.
And what about Josh now that we can see him online?
He must have just finished shift.
Failed Ranger!
That's why I failed, because he just appeared in front of me. And I got blinded.
Yeah. That's absolutely the reason.
We'll make an investigation.
Investigation. And you just missed out on speaking to the Fae.
Not just any Fae, the Dark Fae. A really old Dark Fae.
I'm assuming investigation under wisdom.
You can justify it under wisdom or any other ability. One of the benefits of level up is that abilities are not tied to skills anymore.
Could I say that I've done weightlifting with my eyes and put it under strength?
No.
Come on!
It's a good one though. Oh, excuse me.
Good try.
What about your charisma then?
Well, you could have said that you spent a lot of time lugging around the books, and while lugging around the books, you've been reading them.
I mean, I probably wouldn't go that far, because I've only got intelligence of +1. I'm above the normal, but I wouldn't say I'm actively reading the books as I weightlifted them.
That would be a very interesting and unique talent.
It sounds like something Harry would do. Or actually, also his mentor, who does actually do weights. That is cross-game talk that I should not be making right now.
Or is Coden the librarian? Yep.
Coden the library.
I'm happy to make it under wisdom, and I'll make a quick roll on my phone. Sorry if you can hear cars in the background. I'll give myself a moment. D20.
We can only hear the background noise when you talk.
I got 10, because I appeared out of nowhere.
Okay, so you and Yodri are doing this eye-to-eye contact that's completely uncomfortable.
Beautiful, love it.
It's perfect.
Perfect paladin entrance. What a surprise.
As the paladin is currently munching on some cookies that picked up from somewhere nearby.
No.
Listen,
I don't deserve that.
I heard people were investigating, and
I
I
made you
decided
coffee.
superhero. I decided to superhero land my way in and ruin everyone's investigation. Some people decided to ignore me, but at least I got you.
Okay, so
Thank God for Imni.
with Thala and Zal having a look at it, putting their heads together, trying to figure it out.
Imni, not Zal.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
I'm trying to do the people who had the lower before I get to the higher, because otherwise then the lower person gets nothing.
Sorry, I couldn't make them.
All good. Just trying to explain.
That impulse control.
Okay, so yes, Zal and Thal are putting their head together trying to figure this out until Imni points out they look like moving passages.
Moving passages.
Might be an underground location.
Yeah. Like maybe in the keep we're trying to get to. Or possibly the dungeon at the keep we just left.
The Fae are known to deal in labyrinths.
Okay. So moving passages in a possible labyrinth.
Mm-hmm. Which means that probably it is never it's never the same as a picture you have.
Mm. But, at least now we've got an idea of what we're dealing with.
Awesome, walking dungeon map.
Exactly.
And you think the reference point is left somewhere in the clearing behind you.
Okay, so could that have been where the spear was? Or where the letters were for their name?
Probably be where the letters were.
No, you would probably... Emily points out she thinks it would be the arrow, if you're carrying it through this dungeon, will most likely show where you are.
Well, there you go.
Interesting.
She's very clever.
As I'm sure you've heard of Fae doing weird things to people in the past.
You do remember the main reason why he was there. He's trying to slow us down to get to the keep.
Yeah, all the keep is the actual dungeon that,
But possibly the like you do get a boon and a curse at the same time. So I guess the thing is to maybe try and see the boon without tripping the curse. So
well, no, the curse is probably me being a walking dungeon map.
yeah, well that could be it. And the boon could be that we have a dungeon map. Can I see if I can do an insight on that?
Mm-hmm.
Can you roll for me, please?
Okay.
Hopefully it's not.
I rolled a sparkly GM dice, so I got a 5.
Oh. So it's
Ouch.
like 15. So probably not high enough, but thank you.
You do think that the map probably is also both a boon and a curse.
Yeah. Alright.
Because if you don't know where you are, it's definitely a curse.
Yes. It's a double-edged sword either way. And I also know that you said the paladin was eating cookies.
Mm-hmm.
No, I told him he's not allowed to do that, and he laughed. So I'm hoping that means that.
I never said he'd taken the cookies from there.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm hoping that he means cookies that I would have offered up the moment she appeared.
No. They were already in her mouth, and I'm going to ask you for some more cookies and some more milk, coffee milk, or whatever it is that you were giving the Fae, and I'm going to go back and put it back in the spot.
As you look there's a set of milk and cookies sitting down there. And you have no idea exactly where Chauvel managed to get the cookies and milk from. But they weren't from here.
What? Okay.
My head's
No,
gonna hurt.
at least I eased my conscience in the fact that we're not screwing this Fae over.
Yep. I don't blame you. We don't wanna cause more troubles than what we've got already. I say we start heading towards the keep.
For the third time.
Mm-hmm.
By darn, I'm going to get us on track for
First
quest.
charm.
If he agrees, let's get moving.
Yep.
Martin, I'm just going to start driving now. I'll still give the call, but I won't answer.
Oh, good. We'll hear you when you get there. Okay, so yes, you can see the nice little arrow sitting in the ground next to the gifts where you left them.
So we should be taking the arrow with us?
Well, that's where Zal stuck it face down into the earth.
I think we should take the arrow with us.
I thought I picked that back up.
That's right, you did.
With me.
I forgot that you'd picked it back up because I thought you just left it there.
No,
yes, you've still got the arrow.
Alright.
No, I was thinking of shoving it into the ground, and that's when we noticed the writing. But I didn't actually end up shoving it in the ground.
Alrighty. Hi ho. It's off to do we go?
Off to the weird dungeon we go.
Okay, so you ride about 100 feet and come to the edge of the forest and see the keep.
Right.
It's
What
a,
are we looking
So
at?
close.
You were so close. You see what appears to be a ruin in the middle of a vast clearing, at least half a mile in diameter.
Nothing else in the clearing but the ruin?
Just the ruin, not even a streak of plant life.
Oh wow. That's a bit worrying. I might make myself a staff out of wood. So if I want to create some sort of weapon, I've got material. It'll just be a crude staff. But I'll do
And
that.
you can see what appears to be quite a few pools of liquid in the region. But it's red in colour.
Okay. I'll walk up to one of the pools and
Cranberry juice.
examine it without touching it.
It smells of blood.
Oh, great.
This reminds me of that blood spear that Camden had.
Yeah, actually, it's...
Well, it's quite a possibility that it was made by people from here. It is.
Yeah.
It was that old. And you do have a feeling that this region is quite strong in blood magic, just by the way it smells to Zal.
Do we know anything about blood magic?
It's nasty.
It's the elemental water form of necromancy.
Okay, so pretty dangerous stuff.
Just like.
Pretty specialized.
Do we still want to investigate
Says
this?
the necromancer cleric. Who knows a little bit about this stuff.
You can investigate it as deeply as you wish to. I'm sure many of those pools have bottoms.
Let's avoid the pools and try to investigate the keep cautiously.
Okay.
Yeah, I suggest the same thing. There could be anything in those pools.
I would highly suggest not going in those pools if you would like to live.
Well, if you're saying that they're basically cross between a necromancer and an elemental warrior, like you can get a blood elemental of some sort, or blood golem.
They do those sort of things.
Sounds positively disgusting.
And not easy to fight.
Just think of the end of Blade 1.
Alright.
Bad special effects.
We'll cautiously make our way in, obviously trying to sense as much as we can as we go.
Okay, so as you step into the clearing and go further in towards it, the ground seems to squelch underneath you.
Okay, so is it like soaked in blood?
Yep.
Okay.
The whole region is.
Yep. It's pretty horrible.
No, it does keep out the salesman.
Yeah, we do that. That's what I haven't been doing. Just need to soak my porch and carport.
It's most likely soaked in the former salesman's bloods.
Well, okay, that's where the jar
Okay, I think there's one you get in. I was going to try to sell this fine bottle of wine that I've got.
Ah.
I mean, maybe it depends on the type of salesman.
Yep.
Okay, so yes, you take about half an hour to slowly walk towards the keep. Nothing seems to leap out of the pools of blood towards you, which is always a relieving thing. But occasionally a pool of blood spurts up into the air in a geyser.
I'm going to try and avoid that and use prestidigitation if I get caught.
And you then find yourself in front of the keep.
Is it... like, how much of a ruin is it?
It's enough that there is no ceiling on any of it that you can see. The walls stand for probably about 70% of the actual outskirts.
Right.
The towers themselves look mostly run down. You could probably climb up the outside walls. They're so disused.
There's no gate.
The gate is hanging off on a couple of rusty hinges. That's more rust than hinges.
Can I detect any sort of magic? Do I do a detect magic spell?
You can do a detect magic spell.
No, keep it yourself. It's just an old gate.
No, just in the general area. Or maybe I want to look for traps. I don't want to cross the threshold without some awareness of what we're crossing into.
I mean, the only problem with detect magic is probably like the pool's blood.
Everything's magic. Yeah, that's why I was hesitant.
Exactly.
There's again no point in wasting our spell slots on.
That's why I was hesitant. I don't kind of just want to walk in either. If that makes sense.
I mean, at this point, he's an ancient vampire. If you really wanted to mess us up, you could have easily done it in a half an hour we've spent trudging up to his front door.
Okay, well, fair enough.
Yeah, and the thing is, casting it to detect magic, we already know there's so many magical things. It's not going to give you any.
Well, you see, I keep forgetting that detect magic doesn't give you information that's detailed. I keep thinking that detect magic might give me information, and
like
then I forget
identifying
that it's kind of useless, and then I'm like, why have I even got this in my spell list?
Well, if you concentrate on something, you can learn the school of magic of something, which can tell you stuff.
It is useful in a very limited capacity.
Yeah, again, I'm not sure why it's sitting in my spell list. I've never used it. Every time I suggest to use it, everyone tells me I shouldn't use it, and then I remember that it's useless.
No, the thing is, it's a detect magic spell is taking up the slot. So, in a lot of respects, you might use another spell you got twice by using that spell slot, but it's fine. And you may need it for something else, but in this circumstance, it probably isn't going to help.
Or she can spend 10 minutes doing a ritual to not use a spell slot and
Well, that's
still
what
use
I
the
was
spell.
going to do, was do a ritual, but if it's not going to give me any useful information, then I'm not sure.
Again, as a GM, I can't tell you if it will or not unless
No,
someone
I
actually
wasn't
uses it.
asking you that.
Yeah.
I was
I think Zal's point that there is everything here is magical, so it's just going to pick everything up.
Well, not only that, but like there's probably going to be so many conflicting types of magic too.
Yeah.
So trying to hone down a particular type of magic, while useful if you're trying to learn like a weakness to say like a big target, like maybe the vampire himself, but not outside his castle with lots of blood pools surrounding us. So they don't get too disheartened by the fact that we say detect magic is useless. It's not really useless. It has a really specific niche.
Yeah, no,
That I think I've used it like twice in this campaign.
As I said, I keep forgetting that its title is misleading.
So the basic thing of it is you automatically know if there is a presence of magic within range that you don't know about. For each duration of the spell, you may use an action to study the area of a magical effect to learn its school of magic, if any, or the base rarity of an item.
Yeah, no,
and that's where the majority of the use is.
I think I've used it to detect like a magical trap. So it's useful in that aspect.
Well,
I
that's
can
what I
also
was...
detect like hidden runes or some of the magical runes if they're being active.
All I was thinking was before we cross the threshold into this place, maybe it might be worth to try and look at what magical traps might be here before we step across the border type thing, rather than just doing what the GM quite often enjoys, which is when you just open the door and you don't check for traps first, and then you're like, oh no, I was checking for traps. You can't do that kind of retrospectively. So that's the only reason I was thinking, since the gate is, off its hinges and it's the obvious way in, it might be a place where I want to check to see if there's any kind of specific magical traps or something like that, because even though it's an ancient vampire, he might put a couple of simple trap spells on there to get rid of nuisances.
I mean, honestly, I would presume to put it more on his front door rather than the really gate. But I mean, I do see your point.
Yeah.
I mean, we could spend 10 minutes, or we could spend a spell slot to do it straight away.
Wouldn't have had it prepared. Would have to use a spell slot.
That's okay. Look, I as I said, I take your point. I was just kind of explaining what made me think of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's logical, but I just don't think it's worth spending 10 minutes to cast a ritual spell on a
You guys have got more experience at this, so I'm happy to go with that.
You can always send the trap detector through.
Is that Cheval?
Yeah.
Well, she's kind of with us, and she can't do anything about it if we do. Is that where I say I shove Cheval through? No, I'm kidding.
Zol probably does that.
I am still here.
Hello.
I was waiting to see if anyone would pipe up.
No.
I wasn't
He
provoking,
doesn't care.
I swear.
He doesn't care until Zal starts to do shit to his character.
I know. That's why I wasn't provoking. I was just yeah.
I don't know, Zal more than happily tries to push Paladin through. Probably doesn't succeed, but it's just funny either way.
Is this where we say the paladin steps a little bit to the left and Zal falls through?
I feel like I should.
This is where the paladin picks up Zal and uses Zal to make sure that apparently you want me to go first. You can be my kill. Off we go.
She's already had one arrow in the back.
I'm sure I can get more.
So, what are we actually going to do when we get here? We're going to get in there. Are we going to actually announce ourselves, or what?
Well, I think an ancient vampire's already going to know we're here. So maybe announcing ourselves might be, you know, if they already know we're here, well, maybe if we invite interaction, they might be curious enough to just find out what the hell we're doing. It does work out that way for us quite often when we do it that way.
As I said, he could have done anything in the last half an hour that we picked our way up to this.
Well, technically it's daytime and he's asleep, but... Well, it depends. If he's ancient, maybe he's awake. Yeah, not necessarily.
Okay, so does Chevelle actually push Zal forward and try to enter?
Probably.
Well, if everyone, Chevelle absolutely going to step forward.
Okay, so Zal finds his face pushed up against something hard in midair and feels the face squish against something hard and cold.
So a barrier of sorts?
Barrier of sorts.
I thought there'd be a barrier.
Chevelle probably forgot to open the door.
There's nothing where you're shoving, Zal.
Ah.
Zal just seems to be hanging in midair against something as you're pushing.
Zala calls out, we have cookies and coffee. It's a vampire, she knows.
Okay. And Zal hears that's the third one.
What?
You said, oh god.
No, I didn't.
That was player speak.
You did say OG.
You did.
When I said I push harder, you said OG.
I'm making the argument to Martin that was player speak though.
No, I'm happy to to wear that one.
Okay. So, as Chevelle is pushing Zal forward, Zal disappears into little motes of black dust.
Oh no!
Oh.
And Zal is now, Chevelle is now covered in lots of bits of black dust. He seems to have disintegrated Zal. What has he done?
Disintegrated our cleric.
That'll teach you.
Well, it seems that my shield is broken.
Okay.
Carla will touch that space.
Mm-hmm.
Does she also encounter a barrier?
You do encounter a barrier as well.
I think, does anything else happen, or she just disintegrates?
Well, it's just dust.
And there's no obvious, nothing following?
Wait, you did hear Zal say, oh god, just before it happened.
We didn't have the name of the Dark Fae.
You did not. Dark Fays rarely give out their name. Because you
Well,
can use it against them.
Sala looks up and says, if it was the Dark Fae that took my friend, could you please give her back?
Okay, so we'll move over to Zal.
Okay.
Zal, you are face forward on a extremely plush carpet.
Fancy.
It smells old though.
Old fancy?
Old as in it hasn't been cleaned in a long time. It smells of gym socks.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's a good... I think all the fancy went out of that carpet a long time ago.
It's still plush, but it smells of gym socks.
Great. Vampire gym socks.
Quite possibly. As you look up around you, you find that you're in what appears to be a entrance hall. Behind you are some nice solid black gates.
Are they the black gates that the Chauvel tried to shove me through? Or
Well, there was just open air where Chauvel was shoving you through.
But I suspect the black gates you see now were the rusty gates we can see.
possibly. That's more what I was alluding to. Or like gate in the key, maybe.
And there seems to be a long corridor heading away from it behind you.
And I presume that is the only direction of travel I can go.
Well, there's the door.
And I presume that that's locked and probably magically locked, and I really am not going to spend a magic slot using knock.
You could just see if you can open the door.
I mean, I could.
I know it's a novel idea, but it being a door, it could function as a door.
I mean, I'll try it. Sure, I don't hold out much other than being unlocked, but I'll try it. Sure, why not? Let's just see if I can let everyone else in.
Okay, so as you reach for it, it has this tingly feeling.
Tingly feeling. I don't like that. Bad tingly feeling. Bad tingles.
So what does Zal do?
I probably stop trying to open the door because it is probably telling me that is not what it wants me to do right now. And I will turn away from the door and start walking down the corridor.
Okay. So back to the people outside.
I do have knock.
Mm-hmm.
I
the
am
door-
willing to use it, but I'm not sure if it would work on this barrier.
For as far as you can tell, the door's open. There's nothing to knock.
I'm going to try and push my way through.
Okay. Give me a strength check.
Oh.
I can roll again with the jam dice for you. I'm sure I can't get any lower than 1.
I'm not up to rolling myself. So.
Well, I got a 14 that time, so you're lucky.
I do not know what my strength is. I don't think I'm particularly strong.
Okay.
But Zal's just disappeared, so I kind of want to get through.
Okay, so you're pushing hard against this barrier, and
Yeah.
you don't seem to be making the barrier move at all. Seems to be some form of magic.
Dispel magic didn't work last night, so I presume it's not going to work now.
You didn't use Dispel magic last night.
I will try that to get through the barrier.
Okay.
Oh, actually, yeah.
You can do a Dispel magic.
Is that the best one to use to try and get through a barrier though?
Well, it may bring the barrier down momentarily.
Okay, I'll try that.
Or it may actually get rid of the barrier completely. Either way, it is a
I'll
bonus
give
to
it a
you.
shot because I want to see if she's on the other side.
So you can cast that as a single action or take 10 minutes.
I'll do it as a single action because I've got that weakness where I can't. I'm very protective of my party mates, and I can't watch them go into danger.
Okay.
That's written into my flaws.
Mm-hmm. So shall I do the caster check for you as well?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I rolled an 8, which makes it
Shoot.
actually makes it quite high for you.
Yeah. It's not gonna be.
Well, an 8 makes it an 18, which means it will take down everything up to an 8th level spell.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess that's good.
So it gets rid of.
If it's the kind of spell that will work on this barrier.
Okay, so as you spell hits the barrier, you see what appears to be a metal door appear in its place, and then upwards above the door, the stonework seems to repair itself before your eyes
Okay.
as it appears to be an outcropping of a castle.
I try.
And you see that you seem to have dispelled the illusion over the castle,
Oh, I see.
which your detect magic could have determined.
Oh, so it was useful after all.
It was. I just don't always tell people when it is.
No, but yeah. I had a feeling. But.
And the rest of you see what appears to be a outer keep of a castle, a rather large castle,
Now the hostile will work.
which you can now see.
I will try the door handle first.
It doesn't open.
I will then try knock.
Does your character know knock?
It does. I checked.
Okay. I'll just quickly read
Ever
it.
since I found out knock existed, I checked that I've got it.
Well, it does make things easier to break into.
Well, we found out at the spaceship, the first spaceship, not
Mhm.
the second one. And I'm like, why? Where has this been all my life? And you're like, it's in your spell sheets. And I'm like, it isn't, and it was. I just had that trouble scanning.
Okay, so yes, you cast the spell and you hear a grinding noise and the door opens.
Right.
And you see Zal about 100 feet up the passageway.
Zal! And then I stop on the doorstep. I'm like, come on, guys. I don't want to leave Imni and Yodri
Go through.
that behind.
Mm-hmm.
Does Zal hear me?
Yes. Zal does hear you. What does Zal do?
I probably stop and turn around.
I run because I panicked and I thought she was dead for 2 seconds and I almost knock her over, giving her a hug.
So you see an elf come flying down the corridor and give you a big hug.
And I pretend I'm not almost crying because I thought she was dead.
Imni's just going to catch up.
Well, as an elf, she's a bit emotional. Plus, Martin said I had to have flaws. And he actually created them, I think. That's he got to pick what my flaws were.
Well, I gave you an interesting character.
You did. I am not displeased, but I hate that I'm too honest to forget that I have them.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, well, at least you didn't get tackled by a dragon.
That's true.
Don't
Although
worry.
Zal has been tackled by the dragon before, just thankfully she wasn't medium and large size at the time.
Oh, that's what my worries.
But hey, a 7-foot elf, I'm sure, is always intimidating to a 5-foot tall person.
Well, recently in the game that Calcrix is in, one of our party mates wasn't focusing when we were trying to do something, so she had a large-sized dragon grab her by the face and tell her to focus. So Martin's describing to the character how her human head feels being cupped by 2 clawed dragon hands and with a dragon face right up next to her face. All the teeth. And I'm like, I did not mean for it to be that terrifying.
And considering that's the pleasant dragon being described in that sense, and it's still terrifying.
Yeah, I'm like, I did not, Calcrix has no concept that she's that terrifying. But she is, in fact, that terrifying.
So yes, you're in a what appears to be a very plush hallway with an odd smell.
If we have indeed fallen to the floor during my hug, if I notice the smell, I get up really fast. It's like, ew.
And Zal also smells of that.
I don't unhug her quickly, but I do move away. I'm still very happy she's alive.
Glad to be in heaven.
So now that you're all in there, I'll give you all a perception roll.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not as bad as my last ones.
Oh, that's interesting.
Or is it? Is it a 1?
Almost.
Oh god.
Did your character do that too?
No. My player did.
Yes.
My character has no idea that you rolled, what, a 2, I'm
The
guessing?
answer to that question is yes, Martin.
Well, there was a 2 in it.
I got a 19.
So, Thala got a 30.
Oh,
There was a 2 in it.
was it a 20?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I can't see the cameras or anything. So
No.
I have no idea that I
I was
rolled
gonna
a...
say, there's a fancy pattern there, which usually means.
Oh, Martin likes playing with me. He does a good job. I think I'm very I think half the reason we've stayed together for these 20-something years is I entertain him greatly just in my sheer naivety at times and utter ignorance at others.
And everything's written on her face when you say stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
No subtlety needed.
Sorry.
So yes, looking around, Thala realizes that there are paintings along this hallway, and all of them are looking at Zal.
And Yodri with the 19, does he...
Also notices that there are weird-looking paintings in here, all looking to the side.
To the side?
Yeah.
But not at Zal?
He didn't get a natural 20,
Okay,
and didn't
alright,
get as high as you did.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's what I wanted to understand was the difference.
I see like family resemblance with these paintings and Zal.
That they all look like a very gaunt-looking, pale human, but that they all look alike. So of course they must be related.
Did anyone
And
else...
Zal's male looking.
Zal rolled the 23.
Yep.
Zal does see that all the paintings he sees around him are all looking at him.
And did Ibni roll?
Yeah, I rolled a 19. What did we roll on? Sorry, I've got to do something.
It was rolling on perception.
We're in the castle now.
Yeah, I got that. I
Yeah.
was with you when we went in.
Sorry.
Perception plus 2, 21.
21. You also notice that all the paintings in the hallway are looking to the side as you're walking in. Not looking at you, but looking further down.
Despite the gym sock spell, I move closer to Zal, and I might cast protection from good and evil on her.
Mm-hmm. It will last for 10 minutes while you concentrate.
I will still do that.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth it? Zal?
I mean, you haven't told me what you're doing, so.
Okay, well, I'll tell you they're all looking at you, and I think maybe you need some protection, but it won't last very long.
I can see they're looking at me.
And while you're watching, one of the paintings winks at you.
And winking at me, apparently. That's a cheeky painting. They're probably small.
You have pointed out to me several times by now that if this is an ancient vampire, that a lot of what it could overcome and kill us at any point. So casting the spell might not be effective in stopping it from killing you, but it might mean that you aren't being influenced by it.
Well, I mean, I don't think I'll be influenced by anything at the moment.
Okay. If I suspect that you are, I might cast the spell.
I can also... sorry, I can also cast Dispel Magic in here, but I don't really feel inclined to do that right now.
But you see, that's how we found you.
That's good.
I'll explain how we got through the barrier.
And I will give Zal a charisma saving throw.
Maybe I should have cast that spell.
How close are you to Paladin?
Has a paladin...
Not within range of your aura at this stage because you were just coming into the door and Thala had run 100 feet down the passageway.
Fair enough.
Which is why everyone else saw eyes looking to the side, because they weren't where the eyes were looking.
And mercy be on your soul.
18.
18. Zal just starts yawning for no reason.
I'm gonna cast a spell.
Mm-hmm.
Protection from good and evil. Just in case.
Okay. And I'll give Zal another saving throw on charisma.
It's unusual for her to be yawning in this environment. And I also yell to my party that them being closer would make me feel a lot better. It comes in the form of a very panicked, hurry up!
I literally rolled the same thing, so I will continue.
Zal continues to yawn. Looking very tired as if Zal's been up all night.
She slept though.
Most of them did sleep, while only Thala managed to get the full night's rest.
Yep, okay.
I'm probably just tired.
I kind of drag her towards the rest of our party so that we're kind of bunched up together. I would rather be in a group than spread out.
Can I do a I guess would it be perception to look at the paintings as I'm getting dragged down the corridor?
I will give you an insight to with the paintings.
Insight. 23.
23. You do feel as if some form of mental manipulation is coming from the paintings.
Awesome.
If they are paintings.
Can I try to spell magic again?
Um,
Not quite sure. Actually, I'd have to do it on a specific item, wouldn't I?
well, if you cast it on Zal, then you may take out your protection from magic.
Yeah, and I don't want to do that. No, I'll just try and get close to with our party all in one place.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds. I just want to look up something.
Do I know that the paladin's aura will help?
You would, yes.
I would be moving her towards the paladin, yelling at the paladin to hurry up. I would probably use a very un-D&D word like, hurry the F up.
Get your booty over here.
That would be far more appropriate for the audience and the setting. Unfortunately, I can't rely on Dank Ferric, which is about the only exclamative word I know from Star Wars.
You do. By the gods!
Yes. By 2 back, hurry up.
Just in time for the music to kick in.
Sorry, I'm just trying to look up the spell that I have.
All good. While you're looking up that spell, the rest of them slowly make their way down the hallway.
Yeah.
Oh, bitches.
Because apparently someone said to hurry up, so...
Why do you hate me so? I made you coffee, I got you food.
Well, I didn't hear that they were hurrying up.
Are any of you...
By all means, you could have absolutely said to the paladin, hurry, explain up, and the paladin still would have nonchalantly walked towards the battle ranger.
See, I know Josh quite well.
Could you hurry up? I will say to Chevelle, could you hurry up for me, if not for Zal?
She's striding on purpose. Just think of this as a Zoolander catwalk.
Let's see. You've got a drink for this.
Okay, so, after about a minute of making it drag out as long as possible,
That's alright.
Chevelle finally makes it over to Zal.
Yep.
And I'll give Zal another saving throw.
Zal or Zal?
Zal.
You get a +5.
I have +5. Is that on top all.
Just gonna
Well,
forget
I'm
all
going
that
to be able to get man for +5.
so I can enjoy the chair while I'm doing things.
If you roll another 18, my goodness.
I'm kind of with you there, Josh.
Is that an 18 with the +5 on top of things?
Yes, it actually is.
Oh my goodness. I didn't even look at your skull. My goodness.
I rolled a 7. I improved my bonus saving throw of +6. And then with your +5 makes it +8.
So-
18.
So
Again.
apparently that big long walk you had made Zal very sleepy as Zal yawns in your face again.
I've got a method of waking you up, but you're not going to like it.
I was literally about to say OMG, and I just know what Martin's Martin's on a tirade to deal with the G word.
Well, it's a world full of gods, of course they're going to react.
I'll get the decanter of water ready.
Please don't.
Does he look happy?
He looks happy.
Yeah, he's happy. Just gonna go to the bathroom. I'll try not to be long.
Can I cast Dispel Magic?
You can, and bring down the protection from good and evil on you.
Oh, that's right. Is like most of my magic is attacking, and then what kind of spells I do know are basically just like a few healing spells. I can cast. Like cure wounds, cure. Oh, it's like wounds. I can put wounds on myself. That'd be funny.
No.
I am going to cast resistance on myself.
Okay, so
Vision up to a minute. That's one action.
and I believe it gives you a bonus to your next saving throw.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so I will give you another saving throw. Let's see if you can get worse than 18.
Oh, I actually rolled a natural 20.
Okay.
So was that 20 plus 6 plus the paladin's 5 plus my was it 84? Which I rolled a 4.
Okay. So at this point you realize that you're just tired from not sleeping well.
Yep. I'm just tired.
You, like everyone but Thala, has one level of fatigue. Which means that you cannot sprint as an action.
Well, luckily I was walking down the corridor before.
Yep. But Thala could easily sprint down the corridor. Because Thala's not fatigued.
I look at Fala and just like I'm tired. I'm okay. I'm just tired. As I realize myself what has happened.
And then as you look in the hallway, you see all the paintings are just, none of them are looking to the side, they're all looking straight ahead.
As in, they've gone back to looking like normal paintings?
There's a good chance that they never changed. You just may have imagined it. Hard to tell.
Interesting.
Or you may have dispelled an illusion that was on you.
Interesting. Well, in that case, I'm going to make my way down the corridor. Leave the party in tow, hopefully.
Continuing further in or going to the entrance? Okay, so after the 100 feet, it's about another 20 feet before you come to a grand staircase going up. Doesn't seem to be any side doors.
I checked the map on the back of Zala just out of curiosity.
You don't seem to be on there yet.
Okay. I was just curious.
But when you reach the upper area, at the top of the grand staircase, you see the pathway continues out over what appears to be a bridge area between the outer keep and the castle itself. And there seems to be rooms up here at this level that have a view down of the passageway below. So it would be a very good murder room.
Oh wow, yep.
Well, there's nowhere to run to except up the stairs between where many people could attack you from.
Yeah, very limited.
And considering most of the people stand behind where you're running, you'd have to run backwards upstairs or get shot in the back.
Well, given that we haven't been murder yet, I'm going to presume that we can keep going.
And as you're looking out across that pathway towards the castle, you realise that the pathway is in darkness. There's no light coming down in that area.
Okay. Even though we were during the daytime.
Is this where I use this supposed arrow thingy? Or like, you know...
You could pull it out and check.
I mean, I'm still carrying. Because I haven't put it anywhere yet.
Well, it might be a good chance for an Arcana check for people.
Everybody?
Everybody can. For Ariadne, it's roll a d4 as well and add 14 to your result.
Add 14?
Yeah, because that's your best skill.
Okay. 3.
25.
31?
And how about other
31.
people?
31.
You got a 25 and a 31?
I got 18 all up.
Imni goes, that looks weird. What about Yodri and Chauvel?
Chauvel's not going to try.
Chauvel agrees it looks weird.
Why? Why does Chauvel not? Just curious.
His Arcana is probably rubbish.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
You would all +1.
Oh, I see.
And what did Yodri get?
What did I roll?
Arcana.
Is that like where I
Yeah, I
know?
rolled something higher than 9 or 10. I got a 13.
You also agree that looks extremely weird. But you added the word extremely. So, with Zal having a look at there, it does not look like the land around you to either side of the castle. It doesn't look like the same space. And Thala believes that the entry onto the walkway between the keep and the castle is actually a planar boundary.
I alert everybody to the fact that that may indeed be a portal of sorts. And that we need to be...
Isn't that what we came to investigate?
Yes.
The Fae. Could be the realms of the Fae.
I presume you don't necessarily want to walk straight through one without knowing. Or...
And from what you expect, it's the castle itself is sitting in the Fey Dark.
Yeah. Okay, so I explain that as well.
Meaning the realm of the Fey you met the night before.
Okay. Good thing I left that offering.
And and if it's in the Fey Dark, then vampires can exist at all times of the day because there's nothing there that can burn them in the light.
I see. So does that mean I realise that my daylight spells, etc., aren't going to work here?
Well, your daylight spell will work there,
but it won't have.
It will have probably a bigger effect because they don't actually have daylight.
Okay, right.
So it will most likely damage the world around you.
Right. But it won't be as effective as it could be.
Might be more effective.
Oh, okay.
Because you're bringing in an element they don't have.
Okay, alright. Well, this is good to understand.
Because
my whole plan for coming in here was the daylight spell, the moonbeam spell, and a handful of radiant and water spells.
So, does everyone feel comfortable stepping through a portal into another realm?
Not really, but whatever.
Just want to double check. When I was last at the keep, the other keep, I think I said I sent a message off to Kalkrick saying where I was going. Alright, having done that, I'm prepared to walk through the thing, because if I disappear, hopefully she'll come looking for me eventually.
Okay.
Is everyone else going through?
I just hope this doesn't go timey-wimey thing like we come back 50 years later.
Well, look at it this way. The war with the Master will have been decided.
We might not have a world to come back to.
At least we'll have a world that we're in.
Or we can say...
You can stay a while.
I mean, or we can say that we've, found a barrier into another dimension, because that's one of the things we're doing, right?
Mm-hmm. And you'd expect that anything that the portal network would most likely exist in the Fey Dark, because that would be where necromantic energy would be most concentrated.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't personally go in there right now with what information we have, which is none.
Well, the reason why I was prepared to go in was because our thing is to find out, where these portals go and who's using them. And one of the ways to do that is to go into it.
Yes, but we may already have an answer in the fact that we know it's probably the Dark Fae and probably the vampire.
But I guess going back to what we were asked to find out, I guess the thing that I'm looking at is we knew it was likely to be that there'd be one here. And we knew that it was likely to be a vampire already, but he needed information beyond that. So I believe it is whether or not the person who's got control of this portal is using it to move undead around to help the Master.
That was one of your questions.
And so I guess what we may want to do is to, if we're not going to go through it, we need to at least come up with a plan about how we are going to find more information.
I mean, one thing we could probably do, we're in a pretty secure location.
Mm-hmm.
At least one of the party, aka Lal, is fatigued. We're in a defensible location. We can see it. Why not spend a day observing it?
Yep, we could do that.
That gives us time to rest.
Do you think that you'll be able to rest in this area though, having godded many times?
Only one way to find out.
Okay. I just wanted to check. I could possibly put another protection from good and evil circle around us.
I mean, that wouldn't hurt.
Especially if you need to rest.
Wouldn't hurt.
Okay. So, do you think we should set up somewhere within sight of the portal? Or are you suggesting we leave the keep and go somewhere outside?
No, the way Martin was describing this
Yep.
is there's, 4 rooms that we can see this portal from? Is that right?
Yeah, you can see a bunch of rooms up here that look like the equivalent of a mess, barracks, and armory sort of rooms, but they seem to be disused.
Okay.
But the way Martin was describing it was like these can also be used as like ambush rooms.
Well, there's a whole balcony above the stairwell coming up that is quite a great ambush space.
So
And all the rooms come off that balcony.
we could position ourselves in one of the rooms and then take turns, maybe in pairs, to observe the portal from the ambush space, while some of us rest in the circle of protection.
Well, you'd all have to rest in the circle of protection, and you could observe it from within the circle of protection.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Because otherwise, the moment someone crosses it, it's broken.
Okay, well that makes sense as
So
well.
we set ourselves up on the balcony where we can see that portal,
Mm-hmm.
set up the circle of protection, and rest in turns.
So, do you bring your animals inside?
Well, I don't have any with me.
We'd probably have to.
How many animals did you bring with you this time around? Or I thought we left some of them at the keep.
Probably did. I'm just going to duck to the bathroom while you discuss that.
So you know you've got Chocobo with you, but
I don't think I'm usually able to keep that bird anywhere apart from with me.
yeah. But I think we did leave a lot of our entourage at the keep, because the guy there, his name started with Salagar, said that he was okay for us to set up base there.
Mm-hmm. I presume if I was using Chocobo as my mount, then I probably would have left
Atlas and Artemis.
Atlas and Artemis
That-
base operations.
And that would mean we'd just have Yodri's, Imni's, and Cheval's mounts, maybe? Depending on whether or not we rode in or went on foot.
Question mark? Or were you a horse?
Yeah, but Horse and Drazzle may not have come in.
No. I mean, like, do you have a mount?
No, I generally just turn into one.
Yeah. Can't say for Dreadful, but yeah, I presume everyone else's mount.
Yeah.
Turbo, and that's probably it.
Because I think we did decide to ride in because it would take too long to walk.
Yeah.
Martin will remember for certain. Because I think we did discuss whether or not to walk or take mounts.
I
Do you
believe
remember last
some
game?
of you had chosen to take mounts, but I'm not sure because you know you were going towards a keep.
Yeah, and we knew there were vampires.
As such, you've got at least Chocobo with you, and that's about it.
But it's because Chocobo we couldn't leave behind, because Chocobo doesn't
Is Chocobo.
get left behind.
Chocobo is Chocobo, and that's all you need to say.
But I'd say most of the other party members would have been more than happy to walk rather than risk their mounts being eaten by vampires.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say it's just Chocobo that's in the circle with us. And he usually behaves when threatened by Zal or requested by Thala.
All went around Drazzle's horse.
Yes, yes. So that was the other question. Did Drazzle come in with us?
Drazzle did come in with you.
Okay. Was horse along?
Horse was along.
Is horse around?
Horse is currently around.
So Chocobo is behaved. Alright, well I'll do a protection circle and we'll set up sentry observation.
Okay,
roster?
as you're doing the circle for protection to rest, Thala remembers something else that you saw about the portal and you've read about portals.
Right.
It's a good chance, unless you know the trick to get back, it might be a one-way portal.
Okay, alright. Do I know how to find out that trick to get back?
Normally there's something on the other side that can tell you, but it may not be located where the portal is.
Right. Okay.
So you may need to owe a Fae a favour.
Okay, I might have to think about what I could owe to the Fae.
Or have a planar travel spell.
I've got a planner spell, but it's not travel.
You got a planar binding spell.
Right. Could I use that to maybe get help to get information about the portal?
Would not be as easy because you don't have a dark Fae as your contacts. An angel would be less likely to know the key to get out of the dark Fae.
But planar summoning does allow me to try to summon undead and things like that. And I do have a bit of a connection with the Queen of the Undead, so I could possibly...
It's not necessarily an undead. Because the dark Fae come from there, they're not undead.
The Queen of Darkness might be able to give me some advice,
Like
so...
the key, given the arrowhead wall has,
that
it
might...
probably, like, I could potentially hold that dark Fae that we offered.
Well, you've even heard of the key being the skull of your father.
Yeah.
Because they do weird things to people to mess with them.
So, yeah, it could be that your dad is the key.
But then if that was the case, then only one person would get back because they've got the key.
Right.
Does that make it a skeleton key?
It would.
Is it a skeleton key if it's just a skull? I might at least, would it be a prayer that I would do to see if I could get advice from...
Give me a sec. Yeah, currently beyond your means to actually move yourself through there.
Yeah, no, I thought that. I was just thinking about trying to get advice about Dark Fae from someone who might know, and the only person I got contact with is that I like Calcrix I've been writing to the Queen of Darkness. Pen pal letters.
What was that step that you do?
Fae step.
Yeah, base step. Would that actually work?
Phase step allows you to move from where you are to somewhere nearby.
I also have to be able to know where I'm going. I can teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space I can see.
Mm-hmm.
Once I use it, I can't do it again until I finish a short or long rest. But once I reach third level, I gain an additional effect based on my season. I currently have 3 seasons in active. One of them being Earth. Where's the rest? Where's my season? What's happened here? Because I keep them handy. Because here they are. So for the Earth one, I can touch one willing creature within 5 feet of me, and they can teleport instead of me. But again, it has to be somewhere where I can see. And I also am darkness aspected at the moment.
And most spells that you can ask higher powers of will only answer the equivalent of yes, no, maybe, never, irrelevant, or unclear.
Okay,
So that's what a power of a 5th level spell will get you. A true answer to one of those with one of those responses.
So is that a good thing? My brain's slow.
Not a good thing. You wouldn't if you to ask it what the key is, it would most likely say irrelevant or unclear. Because it can't answer more than a single word.
Mm. Phase step for the other seasons that I'm aspected for won't change that condition that I must be able to see the end point. So I can't put myself through a portal and then get myself back, because it's not like a place that I know I can imagine. It's a place I have to actually see. Is that it? Did I answer the question?
I believe you did. You can't use phase step to get there.
No. It was a good thought though. I'm glad you thought of it. Everyone's been very helpful.
It all depended on if you could actually see through the portal or not.
Yeah.
Seeing something there doesn't necessarily mean you can get there, because it's not within the other side of a portal is not within the 30 feet of her.
So what about the paladin or Zal, she's the resident expert, or even Yodri, who's got a lot of spells. I know Imni's a ranger, but that doesn't mean she's not without knowledge. Do you guys have any thoughts, questions, ideas?
Well, if you are going to do one of those questions, you could actually ask, is this a one-way portal?
So when you said that, that's if I do the planar binding and I ask them questions, I will only get the yes, no, maybe.
Mm.
And so unless I'm really specific with my question, I might get a yes or a no to, like, is this a one-way portal?
Because that can come back as maybe if you need a key to come back.
Yeah.
Or it could be said no, even if you need a key to come back. The response there is not as helpful.
Okay. Alright.
Unless you say, can I freely come back if I go through this portal, is completely different to, is this a one-way portal?
So I could ask, can I freely come back, and at least get that answered, but that would cost me 1,000 gem jewel.
Though you would also have the contact outer plane spell, which is the same sort of thing without binding someone.
Okay. And I could use that again at the same cost.
No cost to actually
do that.
Just takes time.
Okay, how long does that take?
Take you over an hour to cast.
In that time, does that mean my protection from good and evil circle will not be, I won't be able to attend to it?
Well, it's not a spell that uses concentration.
So I could do it while other people are doing observation?
You can, yes.
And how many questions do I get there? Just the one?
You get 5.
5. So it's worthwhile coming up with 5 really decent questions before I do it, and maybe writing those down. So did you guys hear that, and do you understand what Martin's talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, basically we don't need to do what they did into the D&D movie.
Oh, yeah, dig up 15 bodies.
Is that a question? Yes. Do I have more questions? Yes.
Yeah.
Should I ask another question? No.
I'll be the only one asking questions here, thank God. Because otherwise Chocobo will ask questions. Can I have another cookie? Why does my coffee tastes like honey milk.
Well, the amusing thing is, you can actually hear Chocobo talking
Yeah.
constantly now because of your abilities.
Yeah, I do.
And he can understand you whenever you talk Druidic.
Yeah, but I always say nice things to him, and I tell him stories and entertain him, and...
But to start off with, you get to make an intelligence saving throw when you do it.
Oh, okay. Well, I wanted to figure out what my questions were first,
All good.
which is why I was consulting the group, because as they've already demonstrated, they've got a pretty good understanding of what's going on here. So
the first one would be, can you return through this portal once you step through it without needing anything else?
Okay.
That's one question. But it's a long question.
I'm writing it.
I'm good at being very precise with when I ask
had
these questions
practice.
myself.
With can I return through this portal without needing... What was the end
Anything else?
Anything else. Zal, do you have any questions that would be worth asking?
I mean, depending on the answer to that question, if it's in a affirmative, asking something like, do we need to owe the Dark Fae Lord a favor to get back? If it says, if the first question is no, you will require something
Yeah.
to get back, or
Yeah, the question will be, what is that something?
yeah, do we need to owe the Dark Fae Lord a favor?
Yeah.
To get back through the portal. So that would be a question to ask depending on what that first one is answered as.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that it might vary depending on what that first answer is. But I thought if I had some sort of an idea, and I think Martin will be kind enough to let us discuss before asking all 5 questions. I'm looking for confirmation or denial in Martin's direction.
He's smiling. So
He's
that's
smiling,
okay,
okay,
right?
He has mentioned I often don't get subtlety, particularly when I haven't slept or my pain's bad.
So with this spell, will they have to stay around until all 5 questions are answered?
Nope.
So it's not as bad as Speak with the Dead.
No.
Nope. Has only 1 minute to answer to ask the questions,
So
or the spell fails.
We've got to ask them pretty quickly, which is why I wanted to kind of prep some questions.
And Speak with the Dead only lasts for 10 minutes, unlike the one in the movie.
So, Yodri, did you have any other things that you could think of as potential questions to ask? Or do you think...
You could probably say, if the Master's using these portals as well, or is there more than one portal?
Actually, that's a good question. Is the Master or any of his servants
Yep.
using this planar? What is it? Do we presume that it's a Dark Fae planar?
Well, it's the equivalent of using the astral plane, but using the Fey Dark instead, because they both work in a similar way. As does the Fey Wild. It just gives you 3 different ways of traversing the world, depending on who you want to annoy.
Useful.
So I thought of another one, which may be a good or a bad one, which is how do we close the portal?
But it can only answer in affirmatives or negatives, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It would be, can we close the portal?
Can we close the portal?
Yeah.
Well, this is why I was running it by you guys.
Is it possible to close the network?
Yeah.
You drop a mile-wide tree on it.
I mean,
Well,
come on.
it may not close it. It may open up a completely different network.
Um, is it possible to defeat the Master? Yes. How? 150 million ways. So I've got, can we return through the portal without needing anything else? And then do we need to owe the Dark Fae a favour, depending on what the answer to that question is and what that favour might be? Oh no, we can't ask what the favour is. No.
We won't
Sorry. I was scribbling while I was thinking.
No,
And I forgot to scribble that one out. Then I've got, is the Master or any of his servants using this Fey Dark portal? And is it possible to close this portal? Did I miss one? I feel like I've missed one.
I think the question we should ask is, should we
Yeah,
close this network?
yeah.
I will give Zal a insight roll.
Insight.
Yeah, that's one of the, that's a good one as well. I haven't heard anything from Imni and Cheval. I presume you think it's either already covered or you don't have anything to add just yet?
Yeah, I don't have anything to add. I think you're doing a good job.
Okay, so Zal remembers reading something in her Book of the Dead. And it refers to a network of portals that is opened using the blood of a relative.
No.
That'd be you, right?
No, the person has to use the blood of their relative. They can't actually use their own blood.
Does she have any blood of her relatives?
I don't think so.
Where did
You know you're
Chauffeur
related
go?
to Cheval.
Oh, there you
that's
go.
Right.
Yeah, good luck getting that. Chocobo might, though.
So that might be the key, potentially.
So what did you say there about blood of a
It
relative?
said the portal network that she was reading about is opened by using the blood of a relative. Meaning that if you don't have people you're related to, you can't use the network.
So does that mean that only me and Cheval would be able to go through?
You don't know. It doesn't actually explain if that opens a connection for everyone or just the people who does it.
Related, yeah.
Because they don't like to leave that sort of information lying around anywhere.
But equally, could Cheval open the portal using Zal's blood?
Quite possibly, yes.
Okay. I think Cheval would prefer that. Or am I being mean?
And the thing that's not clear when you're reading it is, can it be voluntary?
Interesting.
Because a lot of necromantic acts are done against the will of the donor. So the more evil the act, the less willing the donor can be.
Well, you could just sneak up behind and then nick her on the ear. Still blood.
I mean, that begs the question how they're using the portal network in the first place, if this is the one that I wrote down in my book.
Well, technically, every Traldaran is most likely related to the person who owns the castle. It doesn't say how long the lineage has to be. You may even be related to the person who owns the castle.
As in me.
Anyone who has connection to the Traldaran people may actually be
Would that include Imni then?
possibly, but Imni never had any connection to the Moldavian people,
Oh,
which
I see.
Zal did.
Zal and we found out-
Chauvel through Zal, but
Yeah.
not necessarily Chauvel.
Yeah. So, pretty much the rest of the party is very unlikely because I'm an elf. And as you said, Imni's not... sorry. All those medications.
But that does mean that Zal could technically provide access to 2 lots of undead. The dwarves that she's related to, and the Troldarans.
Ooh. Yes, indeed.
I'm special.
And possibly even the Moldavians themselves, because the Moldavians are a separate group, even though they are descendants of the Troldarans.
Alright, so I have 4 questions.
Mm-hmm.
And that information. Do you want to ask any questions about that information that you've got? That might clarify that for you.
I don't know how to word it though.
We've got a little bit of time to think about it.
Does the donor have to be willing?
Does the donor have to be willing? Yeah. But do I have to ask it specifically in relation to that network?
Well, you have to ask it in a yes/no sort of response.
Yeah, but so I mean, does this Dark Fae network require the blood of a willing relative?
Of my willing relative. Would that be the case? Or if I'm asking the questions, does this Dark Fae portal network require the willing donation of blood from Zal's relative? Sorry, that was really clunky. Did I get anywhere?
You got close enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So, did you want to try to contact them?
Yes. Hopefully I don't screw up asking those questions. Hopefully you take us
Okay,
at
so
our intention.
first you need to do the
Spell?
nature check to see if you can get off your ritual.
Do we have any rerolls left? Just checking.
You do, but you get to roll a d4 and add 10, which means
so
that...
D20 first.
D20.
Yep. 17.
Which means that with the plus 10 makes it 27. You don't even need to roll a d4.
I just want to see... It's 4.
So 31.
Yeah.
You're rolling pretty well on your rituals.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, you don't have any mental feedback.
Right.
And you get to ask your first question.
In relation to the Dark Fae portal right here, I hope that's specific enough, can we return through this portal without needing anything else?
The answer would be yes.
Okay, so yes. Is that where I follow up, and I'm asking this of the rest of the group, not the portal guy, is that where I say, do we need to owe the Dark Fae a favour? Is that the follow-up question?
Sorry, I missed that bit. Sorry, we'll just...
Okay, so I just asked, can we return through the portal without needing anything else? And the answer was yes. And then I've got an arrow going down to a question that says, do we need to owe the Dark Fae a favour? And I wasn't sure if that was a question you wanted me to ask next.
Well, the thing with that question was if that first question was a negative, as in okay, no, we can't return
Alright.
willingly.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So the next question I'm going to ask, if you guys are okay, is it possible to close this portal?
No.
Well, that counts out should we close it, because it's not possible. Is the master or any of his servants using this portal?
Yeah, no.
No.
Leaving you 2 more.
do we need to ask about whether or not we want to use voluntary blood to open it using Zal's relatives? Still might be useful.
No. Yeah.
Alright.
Because it still might require blood to open.
Since
And
we've
given that
discussed...
we have the bloods, that maybe...
Sorry. The only reason I'm kind of rushing you a little bit is because I just realised it's 10:47 and you guys might be tired, and I kind of wanted to get through it, so I don't mean to be cutting you up short, but I think I understand you're saying ask the question, so I was going to kind of scoot along to ask the question. Are you happy if I just say that question?
Yep. The one that, does the person need to be willing?
So I think we said something along the lines of, in relation to Zal reading about the blood of a relative, she remembered that she wanted to know if that donor had to be a willing donor. Does that make sense?
The answer was no.
No. Okay. Well, I guess the question is it preferable that they're...
But it does leave you with one question.
Yeah, we have one question left. Does anyone have something particular they think? Because I've run out of notes of questions to ask.
I'm not sure.
You could always ask the remainder of that question is, does the blood need to be taken from an unwilling donor to open the portal from the other side?
That one.
And it would answer with yes.
Yes. So it needs to be taken by an unwilling donor. That might need to help you write me this down after game finishes.
So it wouldn't work between me and Chauvel then, technically.
Well,
maybe.
You do know that if you charm someone, that could technically be considered unwilling because they didn't have free will. Free will is a big thing in the Fey world, and taking and giving it of free will changes the magic completely.
And as I pointed out earlier, if you can manage to sneak up behind Chauvel and nick her ear, she's not willingly giving you that blood. She's probably going to be as miffed as all hell, actually. So, that it doesn't necessarily have to be torture. Do you know what I mean?
The fact is as well that even if I asked her, the answer would probably be no.
Yeah.
So in that terms, they're already unwilling.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I haven't heard from Chauvel, but I suspect it's because Chauvel's either too busy laughing or she's fallen asleep.
No, Josh has gone to bed. He's had a pretty issue, so...
Right, okay, yep.
So definitely unwilling.
Well, now that we've got the answers to those questions, it's probably a good
point to wrap it up for the night.
Yep.
And so...
Just wanted to say thanks, guys, because I know I was really irritable and scrambled earlier in the evening, and you were all very patient.
No, it's all part of the fun.
It is and it isn't. I was until those pain meds kicked in, I was really not feeling good at all.
Well, at least you didn't get shot in the back.
Well, that's true. But I worry because I like playing with you guys. I really want to treat you guys with as much respect as I can when I am with you. But I'm not always aware of my tones and things.
Well, that's okay. We understand that you can't, you're in pain. You can't help it, basically.
I appreciate it, but I want you guys to know that I appreciate you for that as well. It's not just expected.
Okay. We all appreciate each other. It's an appreciation circle. There you go.
We'll have a group hug one time.
Virtual group hug. There you go.
Yes.
I have to admit it is easier sometimes when there's at least a couple of people here, so it'd be great to see. I know you guys all have limitations, but if you're ever able to make it, whether we need to organise dinner for you, whatever we have to do, we're happy to try and make that happen.
Yeah, it's more just that me that goes to sleep at
I understand.
And I've got toddlers.
You've got grandsons and a broken rib, a cracked rib, and there's a lot going on.
So if we wanted to chat some more, I could always go to end credits, so
sorry,
we're not
of
recording
course.
at all.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to stay around, we can chat for a little bit.
I'll stay around, but not for long.
Yeah, I think
I've got to go.
Yeah.
I'm crashing already.
You head
Good
off.
night, Sue.
Good night,
Yeah.
Sue.
Good night.
Don't know.
Catch you later.
Catch you later,
Ross
Ross.
is going as well. Thank you, Ross.
Thank you, Ross.